Welcome back to this here podcast. You're listening to this, Bad Larry. You're listening to this, the Giant Beastcast, episode 291. Wow, it is Thursday, December 16th. Thursday, December 17th. Friday, December 18th, if you're still listening to this on the original Beastcast schedule, which, hey, I'll hold to it. I like tradition. I'm joined by Alex Navarro.
Yes, you are. You can't get rid of me. I'm still here.
Jeff Bacalar.
Hello there, friends.
And very special guest, Samantha Kalman. How are you?
Hi, so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're going to start with you, Samantha. We got a lot of catching up to do. What is going on?
What's going on? Where to begin? I was in London when the lockdown hit. I was studying music computing at Goldsmiths and having a great time, honestly. And then there was a pandemic. So right as I finished up my finals for the end of the first year, I jumped on a plane back to Seattle, and I've been holed up with some family ever since. I got bored during the pandemic and not having university work to do. So I decided to get a job. The better version of the story is I was playing a bunch of games to like deal with the stress of being in a pandemic. And I came back to Apex Legends and I was like, this game's like changed a lot since I played it a year ago, and it's way better. And I'm into it. These characters are cool. I wonder if they're hiring. So they were. And I'm now working on Apex Legends.
All right. First, I want to stop you.
Is that how it works?
No. I want to stop it for the audience. I want to say Samantha Kalman is a very experienced and great. Do you consider yourself a programmer? I guess it's a programmer, right?
I guess I finally have become a programmer. Yeah,
I
consider myself a game designer.
It is not okay, but it is not necessarily just like I really love this game. Wonder if they're hiring. Let me call them up. Oh, you are.
No. I looked on the website. There was a job ad. I submitted a resume. I went through the whole process. There was no special treatment at any stage. I had to do a take-home test.
Wow.
Which was, massive job application. So, but I got the job, is what I should say, and I'm on the
Congratulations.
Team. And, thank you.
Right on.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to keep up with studies at the same time. So it's real busy being locked down and working full time and then studying music in my evenings.
So before that, you were it's System Era that for Astroneer?
Yeah, so worked on Astroneer, and I loved watching your guys' streams.
It was a lot of fun.
Of Astroneer. that just brought me so much joy.
That was
I was watching those while I was in London, and when you cracked through to the core, floating around in that big space gizmo.
Yeah,
that was me. That was me, baby.
You did that. Wow. Well,
I thought it would be obvious with like all the weird shapes and shit. I was working on Astroneer and had a great time with that team. While I was studying to support myself, I did a Playdate game. If you remember Playdate, the little
the
yellow
thing. What is that company that made it?
Wait, is it out? Is it here? Not that you should know this, but
I'm not a spokesperson for Playdate. It's still happening.
Okay.
I think pandemic has slowed everybody down in some regards. But the game, my new game is unannounced and it's done, and it's coming out on their schedule.
That's so cool.
So like, it's cool to have like a little secret game that I get to talk about in the future, and also like this very big AAA game that I love to play and I love being a part of, and I get to work on that. And then I also get to play weird experimental glitch noise in my creative spare time. So despite everything in the world being terrifying, I'm trying to have my best life.
I think you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm tired all the time.
That's okay.
That makes a difference.
No,
it does seem like you're tired in a good way.
In a good way.
Like you're actually getting some release and some creative output here, as opposed to just being tired from the crushing fucking weight of 2020 and everything going on.
Yeah. I think that, thank you. That I think is a good way to put it. The music, especially, I've been making a lot of noise music, and Alex, I've sent you some long experimental noise tracks.
Some of those things are like 45 minutes long, and you know what? I listened to the whole damn thing.
Yeah, cool. And making those has definitely been an emotional release about like I have all this tension in my brain and my body, and I just need a way to get this out of me. So you know, I did, you know, exercise. I always like to do that as well, but there's something that about just like making really loud, really shitty noise that is really, I don't know, rejuvenating me, keeping me going for the year.
You could you do that, or you can try what I've been doing, which is shunting all of that to my lower back, shunting all of that emotion and those feelings into the lower back, which eventually gets you to make really disgusting noises and really but they generate out of your mouth. Usually when I'm trying to put my boots on or get out of bed, it's a lot of really like two garbage trucks colliding. You know,
or you get like the cool rhythms from the popping of your spine.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
Samantha, what do you use to make all this stuff? Can we dig a little deeper? I'm curious about your process.
Yeah, so my degree is in music computing, and the primary program is called Max 8. It's also known as Max MSP, and it's a visual programming language for music and signal processing. So in some very bizarre way, it's kind of like Unity for making music. I can't show you because this is a podcast, but I could play something for you.
All right, I'm ready. My lower back is ready.
I hope we don't get a takedown, but
this is
you're not going to DMCA this podcast, are you?
If anyone was going to DMCA it would be me.
Okay.
My music.
So do it.
Right.
So this is music that I wanted to make sort of in response to the term cyberpunk. Because cyberpunk's been on everyone's minds, and I'm like, what would actual cyberpunks in 2020 make?
Okay.
So this came out.
I'm ready.
Hopefully you can hear this in a second. Just try to turn this on, turn this up. Why isn't this going? Because I need to turn up the gain.
Gain. Get that gain.
Oh. Do you hear my dog?
Can you hear that?
No. It's the sound of cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk is quiet.
Should be playing. Well, let me debug this and get back to
you. Have to file a ticket
in a moment.
How does that work?
Put it in Jira.
Hang on. Oh, I know what's wrong. What's wrong. One second. This is great content.
Hey,
it's fine.
Content.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, and here comes the cyberpunk music.
It was there for a second, and then it went away.
And then it dropped.
On again?
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Now it's off.
Seems like a gate or something.
Turn it way up.
When you talk, it is there, and then it gets low.
When I talk?
Yeah. You have to talk over it.
Yeah, run commentary over it.
That's so weird.
Okay, so the way this is working is I have 4 oscillators here. I have a square wave oscillator and another square wave oscillator. That second one is doing the harmony, which you can clearly hear a harmony here.
You could hear it underneath there.
Let me turn up some brights.
Wow.
Okay.
Very dark, rumbly.
This is all from The Fifth Element.
I've lost you and the music.
It's like ducking you out.
That's so weird.
It's too many. I think it's too many low tones. It's like because
doesn't know what to do with it.
Definitely peaking. For me. Yeah, making music is hard, and playing with technology is equally difficult and horrible most of the time.
I mean, that's just my theme for everything. Everything's fucking broken, right?
Pretty much.
Samantha, you've gotten low. Your mic has gotten low. I don't know if you turned the gain down, but also I wanted to ask you, will that be in your local recording?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'll just put some
special for the people watching the video.
I'll just put my microphone next to my spine and bend over to pick up a penny.
I can send you. I could send you a clip.
Send me something
to edit into the post production version.
Definitely.
Just so we salvage some of that last 5 minutes.
It will be perfect.
It sounds like this. The
sounds of cyberpunk.
Awesome. Cyberpunk.
I actually have a question for you, and this is it's unrelated to music, but it is related to your current game situation. So
yes.
you're now with Respawn. You're working on Apex Legends.
Yes.
don't need you to divulge any secrets on what you're working on, but I'm curious what that process has been like, because I know everyone's working from home now. And I'm curious, like, we've heard a lot about like what the challenges have been for a lot of like AAA studios to continue development in the middle of the pandemic. And I'm just curious, like, how has Respawn handled that stuff? Like, how has the workflow been? Is it weird and different, or like, are they figured out a way to kind of keep that flow going?
It's so, with the caveat that I started in October,
right?
There were several months of the team adjusting to working from home in the pandemic. What do I say here? From my experience, it's been great. I mean, I'm busy every day. There's lots to do. There's great conversations. We have meetings. We have Zooms, you know. It seems like there's a lot of people working harder to keep the team going in a fully remote capacity. I'm not really sure what else I can say.
That's fair. That's fair. I was just curious.
You know, everyone's working hard.
Right.
And everyone's continuing to work.
All right. I have a follow-up question. Follow-up question over here.
Vinny.
Yeah, thank you.
Back.
Hi. Big fan. Follow-up question is, when will we see a Sonic-based Apex Legends character who uses whose weapon makes the sounds you made out of your computer to sonically disrupt?
No comment. No comment.
Okay.
No comments.
Okay.
Saying there's a chance.
Concentric circles, spinning characters with guns.
Okay. All right. I'll take that as next week. Thank you very much for your question. I'll take. Thanks very much.
If there's ever anything on this podcast you can't talk about, just strike a T pose, and we'll know immediately.
That's right.
We're not allowed to go there.
Sounds
good. Sounds good.
So
I mean, working on the game's been really fun. Like, it's been awesome to see their process and to see their tools, learn new tools. It's all proprietary. So all this experience I had working with Unity and then working with Unreal, and then the Playdate game was all Lua. So I had to write all that from scratch. There was like no engine per se. This is all different from all of that. So it's a new, game. It's a new game work experience, a new game design experience, new challenges, different pros, different cons. But I just honestly love the game.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah, I think
it's always great when you can work on a game that you genuinely love.
Are you good at
it? Definitely. No.
Is anybody good at it there?
Not good.
Is anybody good at it there, or like are they all getting creamed by like the audience at this point?
Oh, I have a few coworkers that are extremely good.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, there are some people that like that will focus on getting their ranks up in the ranked mode. There's like rank splits, which every halfway through every season, they split the ranks so everyone like bumps down a tier. So it's like trying to keep the people that are playing people that are playing often and like consistently and playing well, like keep them up in the upper tiers of like the ratings. I don't engage with the ranked play as a player myself, so I know very little about it. But there are people that do it, and I don't do it.
That means you try to play. You play a lot of stuff offline. So then when you play in the rank, they rank you low. So you're just cleaning up with all the people like me in there that don't really know how to play. I'm like, man, why am I getting... That's right. And then I just try. I can't play too much ranked because they'll rank me higher. So I can only dip my toes in there once in a while.
I love to see you are the champion. Anything to game the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Doesn't matter if you're stomping over a bunch of 10-year-olds who just downloaded the game for the first time. It's like, nope, I won.
The 10-year-olds are better than me.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're definitely better. Like, they're definitely better.
All right. Well, we've got some other stuff, some games we're going to talk about, some news we're going to talk about. I'm sure some more stuff, Samantha, we're going to talk about as I run into audio problems during this podcast. So I'm going to talk first. I want to mention this because it's coming up for the site, but we have an extended free trial coming up starting tomorrow, I believe, and going for the 4 weeks. So if you're interested in a free trial, if you're listening to this and you're not a premium subscriber, a month of a free trial. You can go watch anything we've done that is premium on the site. I think it's too much. They tell me, why not? Vinny, why not? And I said, it's too much. Everything? And they said, we're doing it. And I said, wow,
you're giving it all away.
You're giving for what's too much, folks. So yeah. Yeah, you can check that out. More information on that coming soon, and also that Vinny Vania shirt, thanks Fob Washed, is up in the store. You can go check.
It's really
that out.
Good. That's
it's
really good.
It's very flattering.
Very
for
fun.
You.
He captured your body shape in a way that makes me think that he had really good access to
your behind.
All of that.
Well, I had to send him photos and molds of my backside. So yeah, that's up in the store now. You can go get that. And that is the Giant Bomb sales pitch. Now we're going to move on to the game stuff. Have you guys heard of a game called Roblox?
Yeah.
A little.
Here and there.
Yeah. I know children, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know kids.
Yeah.
What's been your Roblox experience, man?
Well, today was the first time I logged into Roblox because the kids are also children. My children are children. And they finally got to the point where it's like, well, okay, we need to figure out what Roblox is. Let's do everybody suit up. We're going to go look at Roblox. And, we all sat on the couch, me and my son and my daughter. And my daughter and I are just ripping on this game. And I felt so bad. My poor son is like, it's not that bad. And my daughter are like, what the hell is this, right? Like, I'm just running this is crap, huh? Why don't we just play? People are playing this and not playing Spider-Man. And she's like, yeah, I know. Why would you even play this? My son's like, I want to play. I would play with people. And I was like, yes, we're being too mean. We should, I think we said it is probably more fun with other people. So
it's beautiful in its jankiness.
I don't think I ever realized quite what it is, but it seems like, it's like Dreams kind of, right? Like, it is like Dreams and Minecraft combined, but with a large slab of pay for more Roblox coins on top of that, which I think is very...
Wait, the Roblox coins are not actually called Robux because that feels like the easiest underhand toss.
Yeah, no, I think they might be. I think they might be Sears and Robux. I think they are Robux. Yeah, that joke plays for like 5 other people that are like, what's a Sears and Robux? So you go into these like user created levels and you do stuff which are fun but I'm a little worried. The reason I stayed away from it was that cycle of buy more stuff. And I heard too many other parents being like, I got a credit card bill for $300 for Robux. Like, what the heck is this? So I don't know. We were in it for a little bit and we'll try some more, but that's my first Roblox experience. And every single username was taken. Somebody had every name. So I had to name myself Ultra Mags Blocks, which because Optimus Blocks was taken. So
it's pretty sweet, I guess.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Rodimus Blocks taken?
Probably.
Oh man, I have a friend who hosted a birthday party in Roblox, and that was my first encounter with it. And I think that even, I'm Samantha Zero everywhere on the internet, but I think even Samantha Zero was taken when I tried to register it on Roblox. Don't
you feel so like affronted when that happens? When like this is,
I was offended.
Yeah, it's like who? Is somebody just squatting on my name? Like because nobody else uses this. This is my name.
Like how dare you?
You tried to do like the Vinny handle.
Yeah, just Vinny. No, I tried to get Mind Cavity on there, and like,
yeah, I was gonna say, like, come on, some 9-year-old was like, this is
nobody has Mind Cavity. Who's doing that garbage? I've been trying to pick a stupid thing so nobody would ever take it.
But Mind Cavity blocks.
Mind Cavity. I should have done Mind Cavity blocks, rocks the blocks. But I think it's Anyway, it was all taken. Roblox. I don't know, folks. I don't know. It might be a little bit.
What were some of the worlds that you were running around in?
Did one where you're a lumberjack chopping down trees, and then you spend those coins to get a better axe, and you spend those coins to get a bigger bag, so you can carry more coins. A lot of them seemed like that. Do this thing to get more things, to get more things, to get more things. There was one that was a pirate simulator, and you go and you. And then you get loot and then bring it back to get a bigger ship, to get more loot, to get back. And okay.
Now, when you say pirate simulator,
yeah.
Was there a parrot?
Not yet. So
what?
I know.
Okay. Was there then, in that case, was there either an eye patch or a peg leg?
Yeah.
Nope.
What?
I know.
Was there a hook for a hand?
Nope.
Was there
This
like
just sounds
a
like-
mustache and a tall, like fun hats?
There was a boat.
You've been swindled, my friend.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not pirates.
Yeah.
You've been plundered.
So
Did they at least try to sell you a bootleg VCD of Tenet or something? Like, anywhere or something?
Yes. There was a one character named Napster who would try and slip me some stuff. So yeah, it was a good piracy simulator. Okay. With Shady Part of Me. This is a real game. I didn't just make that up. It is a game that is out. I've played some of it. Shady Part of Me is a game in which it's a platformer, kind of in the style of, let's call it Limbo-esque. And what's the time rewind and potion one?
Braid?
Yeah, in Braid. And the hook is, this one has a hook. The hook is your shadow and yourself are two separate controllable entities. So you can solve puzzles either by using the shadow self or the real self who's in the foreground and navigate the world that way.
But they're independent?
They are independent and you control them one at a time. I can double check and will before we do anything with it if there is co-op, but I don't think so because the screen...
It reminds me of, I know obviously the games you said at the top there, but I feel like Brothers was kind of independent too, right? That was the independent analog sticks, right?
Well, yeah, you're controlling each character with a stick.
Yeah. Something about like having to control the two characters at once kind of intimidates my brain and breaks it a little bit.
So this is so you go back and forth. You don't do them at the same time. You switch back and forth. So like the shadow character will hit a switch, which will allow the foreground character to move. The foreground character does not like being in the light.
Understandable.
Understandable.
Me either.
Yeah, so there's a lot of manipulation of objects to cast. This is a cool part, to cast shadows on the wall for the shadow character to go. So if a platform or a block is too small, if you push it, away or from the wall to cast the bigger shadow, the shadow character can then hop on it, and that's neat. I'll play more of it, and we'll check it out. We'll do something with it on the site at some point. Shady Part of Me. Yeah, it's.
Did you hear about it?
Brad sent me a code. That is
okay.
That works.
That's
is the shadow character only like in their own shadow world, or does the shadow character like operate on the real world?
So it's the shadows cast from the real world, like on a plane. There's something that's not. I like it. I don't love it. There's something that's just not hooking me that much about it. I think I like the concept more than I like the actual game. And there's some voice acting in it that I think it might be better off without. That would be fine without. So yeah, we'll take a look at it at some point. Shady Part of Me. Destiny 2 is something I've been playing a bunch of, and boy, I don't know how much.
This is Brad's fault.
No, we actually have a question that I'll go into this a little bit later. I needed a game to play with people again. I needed the game that you play that people can get access to, that they can easily play, and that you can just have a conversation and catch up with people while you're playing it. And we were doing that with Red Dead Redemption Online for a while, and I think Destiny 2 is now that thing of like, okay, we're all just grinding out stuff, trying to get loot. How's it going? Oh, wow, what did the doctor say? Okay, great. Okay, yeah, did you talk to mom? Okay, that kind of stuff. And that game has added a bunch in it. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but one of the problems I'm running into, haven't been in Destiny 2 in a long time. I bought the thing that catches you up on all the DLC. There's a Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light DLCs. But they brought everybody up to a light level, and all your gear up to a level of 1050. Everybody, you jump in that game now, you are leveled, your power level is 1050. The soft cap on that game is 1200. So once you reach power level 1200, most of the gear you're going to get is going to be 1200, unless you're getting special gear drops to push you into the next less soft cap. And then there's another, I think 1250 or something is like the end, or 1230. Anyway, by the time I finished the first piece of DLC, I was pretty much 1200. So that means every piece of gear I'm getting from running the rest of these narrative quests is mostly just disposable, and I'm just deconstructing it, which kind of a bummer. And in Shadowkeep, and maybe people who have played this understand this better than I do, you get this gear set that is story related, and you have to get a full gear set, but it maxes out at like 1060, and I'm already 1200. So like, just getting all these pieces, and it's like, you have to wear this super powerful gear set to go do this thing. And it's like, this is garbo. Like this, what am I gonna do with this? So that aside, that's not the game. That's Destiny 2 is not necessarily about that. I have to watch like hour and a half lore videos to figure it all out. And just, my brothers are all watching them, and we're all sending them around and being like, did you watch this one? This one explains why her eyes are bleeding the entire time. You know, like, who's this character? I don't know who this character is. Yeah.
I've never been able to get up to speed on the Destiny lore. But I love that it is this social, like it enables conversations in the way you're describing. I have a lot of friends that use it for that too. And then like, you know, if you don't have if you're already maxed out level and you get an under leveled item, even if it looks cool, like you're still over leveled. So maybe just use it anyway, just for the conversation. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to be creative here.
The cosmetic parts are cool. And like, you know, I was like, hey, check out this thing. And then I was like, okay, I gotta switch it out because I'm getting creamed here. I gotta actually play. But yeah, it's a loot game, and there are enough, or at least when I was looking at it, man, there are enough things to do now that it seems like a good one of those. Of like, hey, do you want to go to the amusement park with me this weekend? We'll just go ride the rides for a little bit and, you know, catch up. And that's what it feels like. Run some strikes. We'll do some of this other stuff. I'm trying to find a couple more things that can do more than 3 players, and I think they have added those in. That, you know, it used to just kind of be like the raids, right? And then because strikes and strike teams were only 3 players, and the raids were the big one. But I think there are a few more things, and the PvP. But doing PvP, that's not why I'm hanging out with friends that aren't hardcore in the game to get, you know, feel bad about themselves in PvP. Like, it's, you know, we want to, but they have like PvEVP. I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm calling it. And maybe that's what they call it too. And that stuff is a little more than that. Anyway. That's the Destiny 2. Alex, you've been up to any more? I have not touched Cyberpunk since I did that quick look, but it sounds like it's all patched up and maybe not all patched up, but
they nailed it finally.
That's pretty wild. You haven't jumped back into it at all. You haven't even touched it.
No, it's been super duper busy, so I haven't had a chance to sit down and play. I started playing that shitty part of me with my time. So
it really sounded like you just said a shitty part of me there for a second. And I want to make sure to just clarify that's not what you said.
I just want to clarify. It's the whole thing. It's not just a part of it.
Yeah, every part. Yeah,
the non-shitty part of me is the actual exceptional part.
Well, while you have not played any Cyberpunk, I did take the plunge a little bit. They sent a PS5 or PS4 or PS5 code over, so I loaded it up and played through the first 3 hours as a nomad character, and I don't like it at all.
Really?
At all? No. The only thing that it stood out to me as like, oh, this seems solid is Jackie, your companion. Like I liked him kind of right out of the gate, and I feel like. At the outset, they set him up as like a good companion, as like your first initial companion, I think. And Jeff, I see you're shaking your head. Of course, some weird shit's going to happen somewhere down the road. Maybe I'll see it. I don't know. But I have resolved myself at this point that I am not going to play it again until they actually do the PS5 upgrade, because it looks rough, even on a PS5.
So are you not okay? I know there's a lot going on with Cyberpunk right now.
There is.
I don't even know.
We'll get into some of the stuff with the news.
Where do I start?
So is it broken? Is it broken on?
Well, all right. So my question was going to be: is it mostly because it's not running well and your technical issues with it, or are you just not enjoying it? Okay.
No, that's not that's barely. But I've run into some bugs, but like nothing astronomical in those first few hours. Like the first thing I ran into was, I guess there's a scripted event or semi-scripted event that happens when you're a nomad, where you're driving out of the little podunk town that you're in the beginning. And I think you're supposed to run into a pedestrian on the road, which is supposed to show you the tutorial for the cops chasing you. But the way it was in mine, and maybe this is the way it was for everyone, I don't know, I haven't seen, but like I drove up the road and I saw some guys that looked like they were standing in the road. So I slowed down and then I walked out of the car and I walked up to them. And what I realized was one guy crouched on the ground and another guy sitting on his shoulders. Like they were going to, like, it's like a little kid on his dad's shoulders.
Yeah.
But it's just two guys sitting there in the middle of the road. And I didn't run into them.
Because I didn't get real cyberpunks.
Yeah, like I didn't get the cop prompt or whatever. And so I just drove past them. And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to hit those guys or not, but it looked wrong. And then as soon as I got into the city, I started running into like, pedestrians like disappearing right in front of me. Like cars starting to glitch out, pathing to like just running into barricades on the roads and stuff. And it's like the scripted parts of this game are fine, though nothing has been particularly exciting or inventive. But as soon as you kind of get out in the world and you start just letting it do its thing, it's kind of hideous. And and not in like a, it's just gritty and grimy and the underbelly of the city. Like, no, it just kind of looks bad. And like nothing about what's happening in the game has engaged me at all so far. And obviously there's a lot more that I've heard it takes like 10 hours for anything really interesting to happen in that game. But I'm not doing that until they actually make that not just the PS4 version on PS5, because the PS4 version, even when you turn off all the bullshit, like the HDR that's broken and the other like weird visual effects that don't make it look kind of bad, it still don't look good. It still don't look good. It runs, but it don't look good.
I saw a photo that Patrick Klepek posted on Twitter of the Xbox One version running on the X.
Was it the Series X?
The Series X, but it was the Xbox One build, right? So, and it just looked like there was no lighting. Like it just looked like there was bugs. So that I was just surprised.
Apparently, the HDR on either of the console platforms, when you turn it on, it just washes everything out. Like it takes like all the color range more or less and just washes it out. And so like there's like a fix that's like, don't use HDR, which that's not a thing you want to tell people who are potentially playing these on their fancy new consoles. Like, yeah, don't use any of the things that are actually useful for these HD consoles.
So yeah, well, I think in the news section we've got a little more Cyberpunk. Weirdness with the news, but it's one of the reasons I haven't gone back into it was because it wasn't. I was waiting for them to kind of maybe sort out all the bug stuff, or at least some of the major ones, a patch or two. I mean, it's an immensely complicated game, and a lot of stuff is breaking. But it's bursting at the seams a bit. So I was hoping for them to shore some of that up. But it also just wasn't pulling me in that much. Like even at the portion where I was, which was past the title card, it just wasn't hooking me. It didn't have me by like the nose pulling me. It still felt like I could put it down and be like, okay, I can come back to this when I have more time.
Yeah, everything I'm doing in it right now is just sort of going through the motions. I really sort of fell out of not that I was ever in love, but I just fell out of sync with that story, and I'm kind of just, like I said, going through the motions. I want to see the final mission and how this game decides it's over, and then kind of be done with it. But I was talking to a friend who was like, should I play this now? And I kind of persuaded them to not, and to just wait. And,
just wait.
I was, and like, he was asking like, oh, well, are all the bugs overblown? Are people just making a big deal about it? I'm like, no, they're not. It's bad.
I think even like the ideal version of the experience as it is right now is still replete with stuff that will take you out of the experience. Like even if you don't get the worst of it, like even the best case scenario is not that great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind really anything that happens in the open world, but when it breaks like a mission, I get upset.
Or a
and
cutscene.
That's what I've experienced now, kind of 2 sessions in a row where I will have a massive, to really like make matters worse, there are these bugs that essentially kind of like cheese your way through a mission, right? So like not only is it buggy and broken, but you're sort of promoted through it. And I'm just like, oh man, I don't deserve to be moving on in this game right now. Like I suck. And I had a thing where like no enemy could see me. No one could see me. walking around right in their face. They're like, I don't know, where is this guy?
You just turned on John Cena mode. They can't see you.
No one can see
Your
me.
chameleon suit.
Come on.
Thank you, Samantha.
I just I don't know. Those types of bugs for me personally are really just the worst when you have broken a mission and you are just like, well, we can't, we have to just like promote this kid. We can't hang him back.
Right.
Yeah.
And that for me is the biggest sort of bummer. And having experienced that 2 sessions in a row just sucks.
I was very much of the mind that like I'm already playing Assassin's Creed. I'm like 50 hours into that game. I'm like 40 hours into Yakuza 7. I was like, I need to at least touch this. I need to see what this is like before the end of the year. And if it grabs me, great, I'll keep playing it. But it did so the opposite of that. It actively repelled me in those opening hours. And I am just like, there's no need for me to jump in on this now, because in however many months when they actually put out the PS5 version, there's at least a chance it will be better. I'm certainly not guaranteeing that, because I don't think anyone should be writing any checks that they expect someone's butt to cash for that game. But like, there's no need. If I'm enjoying these other games and I'm already neck deep in them, I don't feel like I need to add Cyberpunk to the roster right now. I can just wait.
Some of the I think watching the internet reacts to Cyberpunk has been a real interesting 2 weeks or week and a half or so of this roller coaster of, Defense Force, people getting it, people loving it, genuinely loving it, and having a lot of patience for that stuff and being like, I'm having a very good time with this. I don't understand it. And running up against people who are like, this is absolutely not what I bought. I paid for this thing. Just the range of reactions, and it's every part of the internet coming together around this one thing to fight it out in a forum, and tell everybody else, of course, their opinions are wrong. But to kind of hash it out there over this landmark event, it is this thing that I feel like everybody's kind of coming into, because it was such a game with so much hype around it, and a game that everybody was looking forward to, so everybody knew it was coming out. And it's so all over the place. The experiences are just in a way that's maybe Samantha, you can speak to some of this, not necessarily for CD Projekt Red, but like internally they have to know, right? They have to know that like we're putting this game out, and they can't just be like the first one that's like, wait, it's broken, right? They kind of have to know that some stuff internally is like, maybe this is not all the way cooked.
The whole thing is a huge bummer. Usually there's a sense of, what sort of fit and finish, or what sort of quality level are we at? And I am not speaking for CD Projekt.
I don't expect you to.
I should actually clarify. I'm not speaking for anyone except myself personally today. And so I mean, sometimes what can happen is you're aware of some things, like, well, we're going to do a patch, we're going to do a day one patch. So let's say this is good enough, and then let's fix it in the day one patch. Sometimes you are able to do the fixes in the day one patch, and sometimes you aren't. And sometimes you find new issues that weren't known previously. So I mean, the bummer to me about the problems that people are having with Cyberpunk is this game is an enormous, industry event, right? Like, it's an entertainment event. They've been hyping this for years. And for it to be having enough bugs consistently that are just getting in the way, like Jeff, you said, taking you out of the experience, like that's just a huge bummer. And the ideally, in an ideal world, the team would have been able to say, we're not there. We need this much more time, and we need the time. And they would have been given the time. So, and there's been stories about that team, totally. working long weeks for months at a time. You can't, I mean, maybe, again, this is me hypothesizing as Samantha, not as a representative of any company. Maybe this is a good example of what can happen when a team is exhausted. that you just, the effects of burnout. Like I experienced a little bit of burnout on Centris, where it was like I would look at simple tasks in front of me and I just had no energy to follow through with them. And when a person is, there's been research about this too, when a person is tired, they can't function at their best capacity.
Yeah.
If you want something that's, billions of dollars, hypothetically, riding on this game, Cyberpunk, you want to do the right thing, I hope. And so there's a lot of tensions. Without going too much further into this, there's a lot of tensions right now around creative work and business, industry.
Pressure cooker.
Yeah. It's hard for everyone.
At least.
Sorry, Alex.
For the console versions, at least. I mean, I think CD Projekt Red has more or less just come out at this point and said, like, those versions were not where they needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, they've
been pretty plain about that because there's no other fucking way to say it. Like, you can't obfuscate that. Like, it's pretty clear that, like, you can't pretend that you didn't know. You just kind of have to say, like, yes, our focus was on PC, and clearly their focus was so much on PC that, like, whatever was happening with those platforms was more or less an afterthought.
And I think for me, one of the missed things in this Cyberpunk release is that it takes Cyberpunk, the game, is not being evaluated for what it is or what it's well, I'm sorry, that's kind of a misstatement. It is being evaluated for what it is, which is maybe a mess.
Or what it will be,
what it was intended to be. Is this a good game? Is this take all the bugs out and cleaned up and polished up? What are the warts in this game? What are the problems? What are the thematic problems? What are the quest problems? What are the quest design problems? What are the design issues with this game? And all of that is getting lost because people are having a tough time playing it. Some people are. Some people are having a great time playing it and loving it. I think the tale of Cyberpunk is not over yet, for better or worse. And we'll get to it again, even them coming out in kind of an unprecedented way and saying, like, yeah, we released released this thing that we didn't. I don't know. We'll
You're like,
we'll
maybe
we'll let their words. We'll get to it because it's in the news. But like, we should just let their words speak for it. But that yellow screenshot of a tweet has to be a meme at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, all right. Like, hey, gamers.
It's the new Notes app post.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, Alex,
so
we'll get more Cyberpunk later, but
So I played a few hours of it. I've officially decided that thing's not getting booted up again until they do some serious work on it. So that one would be passed off for a while. But I'm still playing through a lot of the same stuff. Like I finished the campaign in Fuser.
Nice.
I really love that game as a tool set. As a game, it is fine, but as a music monstrosity maker, it is relatively unparalleled as far as commercial software goes. It's a lot of fun. I think it's cool. I'm glad they're putting out DLC regularly for it. I haven't loved every DLC release, but I bought most of it. I think like majority of what they put out is exactly what kind of stuff I would want.
You've got you're chasing a new dragon with DLC.
There's a new dragon in town, and it is setting my wallet on fire. But I'm having fun with it, so I don't mind. I don't think this is going to be a obsessive collection the way Rock Band has become. I think this is more of, as long as I'm playing this game, I will keep supplementing it with songs, and then I will stop.
Okay.
And then I'm still working my way through, like I said, those other extremely large video games. And probably will be until the new year, I would guess.
Nice. Samantha, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on that. Shout outs to Fuser.
Yeah,
Fuser's a cool ass game.
I
really like it. I've had problems with latency on my TV, at least the TV in this house. So that's prevented me from really getting into it because I just can't get everything synced up. But I recognize, like, when I'm just messing around with it, you can just make so much cool, weird garbage mashups.
Totally.
And it's so much fun.
If Fuser does the thing that I was hoping Cyberpunk, or maybe Cyberpunk will in the future once I drop more points in, does, which is, I'm not this cool, but this makes me feel cooler than I am. I suck at this, but like, wow, that really works, and like now I feel very cool.
Yeah. What I like about it is it's very, very similar to actually being a DJ. And so you get that cool feeling of being a DJ without having to do the hardest parts.
Right.
Like being a DJ is being a hip hop DJ with turntables is really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes it so easy. And then you can just it's almost like cooking. You can just like throw ingredients together and then like, oh, here's how this came out.
That's
like
cool.
It's maybe not what I expected it to taste like, but it's kind of awesome.
Yes.
And you can adjust your taste musically about like, oh, I can try these songs too.
If I can piggyback on that metaphor for a second, it's a plate spinning game, but you are having to cook and put the food on the plates that you are spinning.
And also the burners are spinning.
Yes.
Wow.
So what else have I been playing? I've been playing lots of Apex, and I played through Judgment.
Wow. Oh, right on.
Loved Judgment. And it was my first Yakuza game. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. I'm super into it. I really hope they do another one. What else have I been playing? I played a little Sekiro this year. I finished Bloodborne. Y'all may remember that Bloodborne was my game of the year a couple of years ago. A couple of years after it came out. And I finally finished it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That felt awesome to do. And wow, that ending.
I have not finished it, so please no spoilers. You know,
I won't, but you should finish it. It's worth finishing.
Only 7 more years for me, and I'll be there. Don't worry.
Yo, I had to bounce off of that game for a year. I bought it when it first came out on launch day, and then I couldn't get through that first area. Like I didn't know that I just had to go this way to unlock my leveling up capabilities.
Oh.
So after like 8 hours straight, I had 0 progress to show, and I was like, this is way harder than I need. So I came back to it a year later after a friend was like, no, just do this thing.
Turn left.
But Bloodborne turned out to be really, really satisfying game to play and get good at.
I don't think I have beaten Father Gascon or Father.
Oh, really?
By accident.
Okay.
Accidentally.
He was like
dodge
stuck
on.
in a tombstone, and I was just like, "Oh, you're done, Father."
Now you're playing Souls.
Father, forgive me.
Yeah. You found the cheese.
I played a bunch of Hades. I have made it up to the Hades battle, but I've not beat my dad yet.
Okay. You got to beat that dad.
You got to beat. Yeah. I'm not gonna follow through with that.
Leave that on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the shield. I like the Chaos Shield.
That's your weapon of choice, huh?
All of my best builds have been shield builds. Like
Really?
I like all the weapons in that game. I feel like they're all fun for different reasons, but like every time I have done really well in that game, it's been the shield.
You can just stand there and not get hit, and then release the button and do a dash attack, and it's the best.
Is it good on bosses though? Because I feel like sometimes you have to be on that. You have to be on the offensive on some of those bosses in a way that I got up to. I think I'm still stuck at the Elysium boss, which is the 2, right? There's
that's hard,
and that's where I was like, oh, sometimes you hit that thing in a game that's like you're like cruising, right? You're like, I got my build, I'm doing it, and then you hit a thing that's so hard that it just demoralizes you to just put the game down and like be like, the amount of work that I would. It's like building a house of cards. You're like near the top. And then like it just shudders and the whole thing falls down and you're like, I will come back to this.
See you next year.
Someday.
At another point in my life when I can rebuild this thing. Yeah, I hit those bosses and they like just destroyed me in a way, but I had been cruising up to that point. And just So I have not gotten past that. That game's so good though. That game's so good. I really enjoy it.
It has this Souls quality of you hit these hard gates and you just have to. I just had to keep bashing my head into these gates to like get through the battles, get through the boss fights. That Elysium boss fight, like I was stuck on that for days.
Oh yeah, that thing wrecked me like the first dozen times I played it.
That's good to hear then. It's not just me. Yeah, because I was definitely knocked me on my butt to be like, I'm not this good at video games. I'm sorry.
The other nice thing about that game is, you have to improvise based on what you get in terms of the boons. So, one of my best runs was because I got a couple of specific boons that I just didn't get that combination ever again. So, there's something really, kudos to that team.
I play that game like jazz. Like I don't go in with a lot of thinking about what exactly I'm going to do. It especially when I get to like some of the bigger encounters, like I'm not mashing, but I am just alternating between attacks in a way that probably would make absolutely no fucking sense if I actually sat there and thought about it. But that's always how I'm successful in that game. It's just like just throwing whatever I have at it based on whatever, like you said, whatever boons I get. And somehow it just works. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's not that I think I'm good at it. It's that I have just found some kind of weird, the notes I'm not playing is somehow getting me to where I need to be in that game.
Yeah, it's the rhythms.
Yeah.
It's very cleverly designed. It's one of those games that always feels like you defeated yourself. You know, like like we've given you all the tools. All you have to do is dodge and hit. It's just that easy. And then it's like, no, yeah, I should have gone left when I went right, and like, you know, I should have done this, and I did it myself. I defeated myself. I shouldn't have gone in for that last hit, you know. Or if you're fighting that, in the case of that Elysium boss,
and Hypnos will always be there to remind you how you screwed up.
That's cute. It's a very clever part of that game. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Also, no one say anything bad about my wife, Dusa. We're married now.
Dusa's
no
cool.
one, yes, she's cool. Hands off, everyone. So, what else I've been playing? I think that might be it. I mean, I have a. Oh, you know what? I started The Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
Witcher 3 is a fantastic. It's a
the appropriate amount of time.
Yeah. I'm into it. I'm still in like the first area, but having a great time with that game.
It's a great game.
You want to get the full Cyberpunk story, so
I do.
Yeah, you want to make sure that
start with The Witcher.
Yeah,
and work your way up to
it's
2077.
Clearly a continuation. Witcher 3 is great. It's a fantastic game.
Oh yeah, you like that, Vin?
Witcher 3 is a great game. I don't know if you know.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else, or should we move on to Mr. Backler?
I think that's all I got.
Do you like pinball? Because here we go. Backler, tell me. Yeah, Samantha, you like pinball? Great.
I
Thumbs up.
love pinball.
Great.
No shit.
Backler,
well, you're in for a good time.
What's up with this Guns N' Roses machine?
You guys, it's really good.
Is it?
Okay. It's really good. And Alex, I think you'll especially dig it because it has a very rock bandy sort of mode in it. Where
Explain.
Okay. So again, pinball objectives and modes and all that stuff, they are layered and complex and just very deep, and there's a ton of different modes. One mode is where you basically perform a song, right? So like they've got all this live concert footage of like 2018 concert of like Guns N' Roses where like they're all there except I don't know. What's the deal with the drummer? Do you know the deal with the drummer?
Well, Steven Adler has not played with the band since Appetite.
It's like some guy, Frank, right?
Yeah, and then Matt Sorum, I think, is on the outs of the band because Axl Rose hates him. If I remember correctly, I could be misremembering who hates who, but I think someone hates Matt Sorum for whatever reason. So I actually have no fucking idea who the drummer for.
So it's everybody but the drum, right? So you got so obviously Slash is like the figure person for this game. Like his voice does a lot of the call outs. Like he is like, you know, the game.
Yeah, the iconic voice of Guns N' Roses, Slash.
No, it's funny though, because when you hear his voice, you're like, oh, right, that is what Slash sounds
Slash
like.
talk? I thought Slash doesn't talk.
He talks.
No, he talks. He just doesn't talk a lot.
Okay.
And when you hear his voice, you're just like, oh, he has a very like nice, soft voice in a way that you wouldn't think fucking Slash would sound like, but that's what Slash sounds like. It's nice. Anyway, so back to like the rock band aspect. So you get to the point in the game where you can play a song and you get to choose from like 4 albums, and each album has like 4 or 5 greatest, you know, sort of like hits from that record. And you choose the song, the you know, the sort of B-roll concert footage starts to play, and you basically have to hit all these targets that pick up certain sound, like the bass, the guitar, the drums, keyboard. Like you have to kind of keep all those plates spinning by hitting targets and you know, capturing objectives and stuff.
So in a way, it's actually
really
kind of a little bit like frequency or amplitude, where it's like when you're hitting those specific things, you're keeping the track going as opposed to hitting every individual note.
Yeah, I mean, they don't do. So like, it's not like the mode will start and like the vocals are gone, right?
No,
right.
You
didn't hit like
you start with the music on, but you have to keep it up.
You have to like kind of keep it, you know, volleying up, right? And it's just super satisfying, and
that's neat.
It's really Yeah, it's really smart. Like I love November Rain. Like I love that song. So like, it's like a 9.5 minute song, right? So like I always see how far I can make it. And after you complete the song mode, the game's like, hey, do you want to keep playing the song? Because you love Guns N' fucking Roses. You want to keep that song. You can choose to like add another ball and keep the song going, or like exit the mode. Just a lot of really smart stuff that like these guys are doing in this game. It's really clever.
Two questions for you. Sure. In November Rain, when you are playing November Rain, at any point on the little digital screen thing that I assume it has, because every fucking
it's got two. Yeah.
Is there a digitized version of the guy going through the wedding cake from the video? Because that's it.
I know. So I'm pretty sure there's not. I haven't gotten that far in the song. The most I've gotten is like maybe 4 minutes into the song.
Okay, so the wife is still alive. They haven't done the wedding yet. It hasn't started raining. He hasn't gone to the grave, any of that.
It's just a November sprinkling.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just starting to spit. And I feel like, man, what's the deal with that story again? Like, why are they all dead at the end? Like, why is there a funeral?
Because it's a music video and never fucking makes any sense.
November Rain is rough, man. It's
dude. I was hoping so. I haven't gotten to Slash's first solo in that song either. When he's just like in this like endless sort of desert with the church and all that shit. Man, that's so badass. I wonder what it looks like now. I haven't seen it in probably a decade, but like I'm hoping so bad that they like cut to that in some way and just have that on the playfield, just him coming out of the bottom. Just
can the guitar drop out of November Rain? Or is it just silence at some point, or while you're playing the game? Like, can that track go out?
The beginning is obviously very piano based. No, they don't really drop like the stems that much. Okay. I thought that would be a really fun thing, but it kind of doesn't show. It's weird. Like, I've played a lot of the songs. When you do Live and Let Die, it does sound like they do maybe add some like funky out of tune stuff in that track that you can sort of help by improve the sound of it by hitting targets and whatnot. But it's just fun, kind of, it just has not gotten old. Just getting into that mode, finding a song and playing it. What was your second question, Alex?
The second question I have is, which albums did they go with? Like Appetite for Destruction, gotta assume that one's in there.
Yeah.
So, do they treat the Use Your Illusions as separate albums?
Oh, they do. There's one and two.
So that's three. What are the other ones?
What do you think the last one is?
Spaghetti.
Well,
Incident.
Is it Chinese Democracy?
Yeah.
Okay, so they actually did that. Okay, because I'd heard that like the current incarnation of Guns N' Roses was not really doing much of anything with Chinese Democracy material, but
I want to say that album has the least amount of tracks available to play out of the.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. And then there, the songs you just don't really kind of know.
Yeah.
But everything.
Come on, everyone knows Shackler's Revenge, man.
Is that an Atari game? What is that?
It's the song from Chinese Democracy that was on the Rock Band 2 soundtrack when everyone was saying, "Oh, they got Guns N' Roses." Oh, they got Guns N' Roses. Oh.
It's just so funny how that also sounds different too. Like where whoever the producer was on a lot of those records, like just threw everything out the window for Chinese Democracy.
Well, Chinese Democracy had 70 different producers, so that's probably why.
But it really is wild. There's drumsticks on the playfield.
Oh, wow.
So like you hit up a ramp and you go down literal drumsticks. There's a really awesome like bass guitar that's sort of mounted on the left side that they have like the Fender branding and the sort of the rails feel like the bass strings that go up and down it. Like it's cool.
Do they have like
really did a great job? Yeah.
Can you like catch the multi-ball thing, just a do-rag that all the balls go into?
So, because it's made by that Jersey Jack company. So they use the big 27-inch LCD in the back glass. So they made all these custom, movie animations that, so like after your ball drains, they show you like a merch table and all of your stats are up on the merch table.
Okay.
When there's a game over, they show like there's like 3 versions of the game over. Where one of them is just like Axl throwing the microphone into the crowd and the camera zooms up into the microphone and like it turns into like a 3D rendering. It spins around and just says game over on the microphone. And then they have My favorite one, the best one is Slash just like putting his guitar down, walking off stage like they just finished an encore, and he like does a handstand. The camera zooms into his
for real
belly.
does a handstand?
Yeah, he does a real life handstand. The camera zooms into his belly, and then like tattooed upside down says "Game Over" next to his pierced navel that they like added, that they like drew in there too.
Incredible.
It's good. It's just fun, man. It's fun.
I hope that Slash came up with that one. It was like, what if we did
the way they were pitching this game? Like, apparently Slash is a big pinball fan, so like he look, he's like the first credit on the thing when they scroll. Yeah, okay. I mean, that kind of makes sense for what they're going for here. But he seemed to be very much involved, and he seemed, from what I can gather, he seemed to be mostly psyched about this whole process. So I think that's cool.
Is the launcher his hat, like a top hat that you like pull back?
No, his top hat is in the middle of the playfield.
In the middle, okay.
In the middle. Oh yeah, prime placement. Okay. The launcher is not that. I'm not in love with. That's like the one thing I don't love about the game is the plunger sort of stuff. The skill shot stuff's a little weak in my opinion, but other than that, it's a lot of fun. So I've been playing a lot of that, and now I got like a 5.5-year-old who's like the biggest Guns N' Roses fan
from Ninja Turtles to Guns N' Roses. Wow, you're really having a 90s moment there.
I know. I'm just turning him into like 1993 Jeff.
Yeah, you really are. He's gonna come in the room in a flannel shirt and like a wallet chain
wallet. Yeah, his friends at kindergarten like, you're not cool, man. You're
Dad, I need to get on the CD player. I just got back from Tower Records and I have a new album.
Can you make a tape of this for me, Dad?
That's right.
So, but that's
all he does is watch Ethan Hawke movies now.
Oh, Dad, you're such a black hole son.
Dad, you got Reality Bites on VHS. you get that? Can you rewind it for me? Anyway, so it's funny we talked about the DCMA stuff because I don't think I'm gonna be able to stream this game with sound on.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we'll have to do something.
Actually, you could probably do it from our account because they never DMCA our shit.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
All right. Well,
I mean that might change in the new year, so I'm not making any guarantees here. But so far, I don't think they've ever
doesn't
hit me up about my
your
streams.
Rock Band stuff get muted?
It gets muted, but that's it. But we don't get DMCA strikes as far as I know.
No, but you get muted.
But the archives are, yeah.
Interesting. All right, we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe I gotta talk to somebody about that. Just
one final question here. Polling the room. What's the best Guns N' Roses song?
I'm November Rain. I love that song so much.
I like Patience.
Yeah. An odd pick, but a good one.
I like Patience.
I also November Rain Club.
All right.
Oh yeah.
This is maybe an unpopular pick. I'm gonna say You Could Be Mine.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. They've got some bangers, you know? Guns N' Roses had some songs, at least in my nostalgic brain, that is just like, when it hits the radio, like I'll listen to this one.
It's wild. I mean, you go through you go through that mode and you're flipping through all the songs. You're just like, oh right. Like all these bangers. Like
and all over like a 7-year span, basically.
Yeah, they were spitting them out. So that's pretty cool. I'll also say this: anyone who's interested in getting one of these games, who might have a small child at home, the game comes with the parental settings off. I'm sorry, on.
Okay.
I instantly turned them off. I was like, I could handle a couple curses in this game. In the lyrics? Like, what's the big deal? You turn that off and like you load it up and it's like, nice fucking shot.
Oh no, really? Oh,
I didn't realize all of the call outs are explicit.
I see you turned on cool mode.
Yeah, like Slash is like, get the fuck back in here, and you're all right.
Isn't Get in the Ring? Isn't it like Get in the Ring?
Get in the Ring has some lyrics.
Yeah, isn't that one? Is that in the game?
Did not expect that to mean what parental mode was, but had to turn that off real quick.
That's interesting.
So, but yeah, that game rocks. It's so damn good. And I'm playing a bunch of that. Doing like we talked about Cyberpunk.
We should say that's for those who join us. That is the Guns N' Roses pinball table, the new one.
Yes, we'll figure out a stream solution sooner or later, and I'm also going to be doing something with those guys for CES, recording a segment for that. So stay tuned for that. I know I said on the show that I was gonna like Demon Souls. I was gonna do a Demon Souls like effort again. And I think it's been like 3 weeks since I said that, and I just came back to say I will not be playing that game anymore.
Great. Okay.
I will just not.
Okay. Good check.
You've had your fill.
I gave it the old college try. You know, it's just I respect it, but it got me to a place where I was like physically uncomfortable with what it did to me, and I need to move on. So I'll be doing that. I've been playing a lot of the new Call of Duty maps. They redid, what the hell is it? It's called Raid, the Call of Duty multiplayer map where you're like at some swanky Beverly Hills, a house on the hills. And that map is so damn good. It was, I don't remember what game it's from though. Maybe chat can help, but like just getting transported back to whatever Black Ops or Modern Warfare game that was on. Raid, right? Yeah, man, that map is so damn good. So I've been playing a lot of that. Apparently there is a New Jersey mall map. Did you hear about this?
Wait, the mall that's not open yet?
No, not.
It's not an actual mall.
Meadowlands. Like I don't know if it's based off a real mall, but there is a New Jersey mall map that's been added into multiplayer. I've been playing that multiplayer. I played for like 3 hours last night. Didn't get it in the shuffle, but oh man, I am stoked to play it. It's a South Jersey mall is what I'm hearing in the chat. So
finally I can,
not as good as a real Jersey mall, but
I can murk a Call of Duty player inside of Spencer's Gifts. I'm fucking
I was just gonna
stoked.
say, like, finally Journeys, like bloodshed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I also have like an interesting story to talk about. If you give me the bandwidth for such a tale.
Sure. Yeah. Let me see. You've got 30 seconds. No, let's go ahead.
All right, let's do it. So are you guys aware of like what's happening in the world of Pokemon cards?
What is happening?
No.
Bacalar, what is happening in the world of Pokemon cards?
So I'm real cool, right? And
we know that.
I know that Pokemon cards are, I mean, they've always been like this hot commodity, people opening up boxes that are like 20 years old to get the certain, I don't know, there's like guaranteed hologram cards in a certain box. Anyway, a lot of people are doing this on Twitch. They're like opening up boxes that are going for like $70K, getting cards that are worth over $100K.
Did you say $70,000?
That's what I said there, Vinny boy.
Are you sure that number's right? That's ridiculous.
I mean,
check your math.
What? I'm not. There's no math. Because facts are facts.
$70,000.
Yeah, it's a seller's market, man.
So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, dude.
Wrong?
I'm not trying to blow smoke. This is real smoke.
This is
coming
real.
off the street, entering the Beastcast with Samantha's my witness.
Welcome to the vapor chamber, everybody. Wow, $70K for you. Oh man. Dude. Okay.
So I got a buddy. You know him. You've met him before, but he'll go nameless for the sake of crimes. And he used to work at a store in the 90s that sold Pokemon cards. Okay. So we're going back 30 years and we're talking about
what it Guns N' Roses on the hi-fi. Here we go.
Why not? We're in it. We
Paradise City's playing. He's like Charizard.
He's at a Jersey mall working in the store.
That's right.
They sell the Magic cards. They sell the Pokemon cards. They
hear
sell
about
the whole
this
thing.
Dreamcast? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. $99.99. And he stole a bunch of the boxes when he was working there. Like again,
we're past the statute of limitations.
Yeah, this is like 30 years ago, right? So,
what could they be worth?
So he sold the boxes when he got married in 2012.
Okay.
And I don't remember the amount of boxes he sold. I could even just text him right now and ask. But anyway, he made over like 15 grand.
I should text him right now, and then my phone rings.
And you're just like, well, Chuck, it was 11 boxes. I'm on the podcast with you right now.
You told me before. I can text him right now. Yeah.
It's a lot. It was a lot of boxes. And I remember at the time we had this whole conversation about like, is this fucked up to do? And I was just like, let's call him Phil. I was like, Phil, sell the boxes.
Sell the boxes, Phil.
And he was just like, oh, maybe I should hold on to them. I'm like, Phil, they're Pokemon cards. Like, who, I don't know. Maybe they'll be worth something in 2020, but sell them now. Let me tell you something. He should have held on to those boxes.
Bad advice from Bacalar.
Those boxes, I think last time we were playing Call of Duty, he said they probably would be worth close to $200K.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's an unreasonable amount of money.
It was a lot. It was probably more than 11 boxes. I think it was close to 20, but like he should have.
Well, that's not $70K a box, but
who should have
would know that
stock in 1980, right? Like who would have done these things? Anyway,
here's what I want to say.
Here's the lesson: never sell anything.
Yeah, no, don't hold on to your garbage. Sell it.
Sell your Transformers. Okay,
yeah.
Sell your Transformers while you can.
Help me.
How about that?
Yes.
So what he did though, he did have a couple packs left from his crime stash from the 90s.
Gotta hold a few.
So he held on to a couple, and then he also opened a few years ago, and he got a Charizard.
Foil Charizard, huh?
So there's something with a G. Chad will help me out with the one that just was opened. That
Garchomp.
If it's graded at a 10, it's
the one I remember was like the shiny Ponyta or whatever the hell that everyone was freaking out about. That might have been in one of the games. I don't know, but like Charizard, is Charizard worth money?
I think Charizard.
They're worth a lot of money,
yeah.
And if it's graded at a 10, it's an unconceivable amount. Oh, Lugia, that's what it is.
Lugia. Oh, that's a terrible name.
Lugia?
Robert Loggia?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, it's Robert Loggia. Just comes out of the box.
A foil Robert Loggia.
So someone just opened one of those, and if it's rated a 10, that card, it's like 100. The last one sold for like 100.
So are they doing this with like the gloves on and the whole hold it by the edges and kind of like,
is it going into a hermetically sealed bag?
Like get into lucite as quickly as possible?
I think what they're doing is they're basically unboxing him and like instantly inserting all of them into like a vacuum case or something like that.
Okay.
Because my buddy has this Charizard, but he like took it out and it was sitting in a desk drawer for 8 years, and that is now he got it graded and it's an 8. So that one's only worth like $800 or something.
I mean, that's not nothing.
It's not nothing, but if he kept it as a 10, or I think a 10 is also like a perfect print that doesn't have any sort of imperfections or whatever. But listen to this.
There's more?
So he had these individual packs, and I think you can get like the foil pack graded as well.
Oh my God.
So he sent out, this is recent, maybe like a month ago, he sent out, I want to say like 10 packs to get graded and a couple cards as well. He sent them all out in different shipments too. I don't know why he did that. I think that's what the PSA, that's the company that grades all this stuff, they required it. I don't know the specifics, but for whatever reason, they were shipped separately.
PSG?
PSA.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's PSA. Okay. Anyway,
PGS?
What's up?
Nothing.
No, just go on. Finish the story.
We were talking to him the other night, and he's like, guys, my Charizard's lost in the mail. We're like, what do you mean?
You get insurance on it when you ship it out, right?
He did. He insured everything as if it was about to be graded an 8.
Yeah.
So he assumed it would be 8, so we insured it for the value of that. Some of the packs go for more too. They're like in the thousands of dollars. And the company, I'm not even going to talk about the carrier. The carrier wound up shipping a couple packs and the Charizard to some other place in another part of the country.
Wait, so they know where it went?
They know where it went.
So it's signed. Okay? It was signed on receipt. Like they have the delivery receipt.
They have the delivery information. They were able to track it down where it went, but for somehow the labels got screwed up. I'm not going to name this carrier. It's the carrier I hate the most, and they do and I feel like I've heard stories about this.
DHL. I was going to say DHL as well.
Dude, DHL is shadily like the most unbelievably impressive international shipper on the planet. Like I've ordered shit from Italy and it shows up the next day, and I'm just like,
that shouldn't have happened.
What? This is not physics. Anyway, so the shit gets delivered to some place somewhere else in the country. So he's freaking out. He's on the phone with this carrier. He's like, "You guys,
my Charizard,
like my Charizard, you ruined me."
I got a house.
So he starts the whole insurance claim process up. And his wife is very upset, and his wife starts to play social media detective and finds out who these people are,
where it got shipped to. The people
where it
that
got
received.
shipped.
Okay.
Gets to the point where they get the person's email address and they email the person.
You have my
So,
three things are going to
got my
happen.
charger.
You need to. Three things are about to happen. First,
right?
Put the card in a letter. Put the letter under the stone in front of the house.
I'm a man of unique talents. You have my Charizard.
So without getting into any more of the details of this, they're currently like figuring out the logistics of getting it back to them. And I'm just like, oh my God, you have totally, gotten yourself into an episode of Reply All. Like
was there anything nefarious? Like, did the people that got it, like,
no,
were they like
the story the way the story goes is the people who got it were like they finally talked to them on the phone, and there was nothing shady or nefarious, or
they just didn't know what to do with this shit. They're like, why did we get this?
You get a package, like, especially now, like I get so much shit in the mail that I'm just like, I'm opening this. I don't even look at the return address anymore.
Did you buy Pokemon cards for
Phil,
the
is this did you right? So
is this some work?
So thing? Apparently they're in the process of getting everything back, and it seems like they're nice people and it's not going to be a problem. But like, could you imagine? And not only that, I mean, tracking these people down, which I guess is a little upsetting as to how easy that was. But then again, all three major credit companies also leaked out everyone's information.
Oh no, geez.
Nothing is sacred. So
wait, so can I just
or
clarify?
It's just one of the credit cards.
Clarify. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's all out there anyway.
Yeah.
So this Charizard was the one that he was sending out to get graded, or
graded.
So if he gets it back and he's like, this fucking corner's bent. Is it?
No. So they I think they plaque it for you too. I don't know for sure, but I think part of the grading.
Oh, so it was being returned to him.
Yes.
Okay, so it was ready in Lucite.
They'd already done the work.
And just some context, he did find out it was in fact an 8. It was graded. Okay. His packs, I think, are graded higher. So that is a wild story of deceit and awful parcel servicing, and man.
So here's an interesting little conundrum though, right? You got these packs. Do you open the packs and hope, or do you just do the pack? Like, that's a real gambler's conundrum, right? Like,
it's Schrodinger's pack.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're all Charizards, and none of them are Charizards. They're all Charizards, and they're all pony.
They're all Robert Logias, or no Robert Logias.
Yeah. I mean, as far as he knows, there's just cockroaches in here. Right?
Right. It could be nothing.
That's all it is. It could just be a bunch. It could be 11 cockroaches stacked flat. I don't know.
So yeah, you don't open the pack and then just take your chances.
I gotta ask him and see what he wants to do. I'm like, man, you should just stream it. I feel like just figure it out, because that all people are doing now is streaming opening Pokemon cards. So wow. I don't know. It seems
nothing
cool.
Makes it more illustrative that our economy and entire value system is just completely made up bullshit than when I hear things like this.
Well, dude,
like, oh yeah, like an 8 rated Charizard. Oh, I know that shit's all bullshit too. It's all fucking made up. None of it's real. None of this is real.
Right. I mean, sure, but it is real. There is real value.
No, the physical goods are real, but the value we assign to it is entirely fucking arbitrary.
Right. Yes, but I mean, it's a much more, heady conversation. Here's the thing, right?
What's the thing?
The cards are back. It's not just the Pokemon stuff. It's like sports cards. These Panini cards. Have you heard about that?
No.
Is it just different paninis on cards?
It's not like Fresh Mutts and Basil. It's
do they have the hologram on them where I go like this and the panini moves a little bit so I can see like the upper deck cards?
It's a panini hologram. It's like first it's just a cheesesteak and then it turns into a panini.
Delicious.
Here's the chorizo rookie card.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
Yeah, so he's into that too, and I'm just like, oh, you're just this guy now. Let me ask you, how many PS5s are you also sitting on, my friend? Because this is the road you're going down.
Oh, it's like the warehouse, like the eBay warehouse now. That's wild.
I never knew I wanted to learn so much about the seedy underworld of Pokemon card rating.
It's something. Yeah, it's definitely something. I mean, I don't know if I think that company is the company that also does like the comic books and like they grade all that stuff. And
sure,
You know,
you can get anything sealed in lucite and graded and put a sticker on it. Really? Like,
yeah.
Send them.
That sounds like a tremendous racket.
I bet I could take like this is a Dixon Ticonderoga #2 pencil fresh out of the box. What is this? An 8 or 9? Wow! People want the best version of anything sealed and hung on a wall.
You know, it's an investment.
Don't open that pencil for 10 years.
Yeah, this is the best.
Like collecting
this one's the best.
art or even buying stocks. It's an investment, right?
Yeah.
Like that's ultimately what it is.
I found out recently. This is not as exciting as a story, so I apologize. But every year I get the coins. I collect coins, so they get the
there you go.
coin sets that come out. This fucking year, these fucking guys, this year,
Yeah.
These
I like
freaking
it.
guys.
these fucking guys. I am subscribed to the annual sets. There are 2 that come out. You get the Denver Mint and you get the Philadelphia Mint. They put a little D on the coin. They put a little P on the coin. You get 2 sets.
Aware.
You get the 2 sets. And then if you get the proof set, it's a different set. I'm talking about the uncirculated set. You just get the little D, get the little P, you put them in your little book. You close the book up and you say, I'm good for next year.
Nice.
Fucking behind the scenes here, they're putting out coins out of fucking West Point with a little W on them.
Oh.
And they're not included in the Mint's not putting them out in an uncirculated set. So the only way I found out was like I was for some reason looking at stuff and being like, all right, I got these. I did my coins. They came my uncirculated set, and I was like, someone was like, did you get the West Point ones? What the fuck is this? Wait, what? And then you got to go track them down because they're all like the only way to get them is from the bags at the rolls at the bank, and people got to go through the rolls and find like, oh, this is a W. Okay, put them to the side. So you're paying.
Got to get your hands on that.
You're paying premium for these people.
Got to get the dubs.
What are you
get your
doing?
dubs.
Get those W's. Anyway, crimes collection.
Sounds like you took it. Sounds like you took an L on those W's.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Collection crimes. That's the problem. Man, it's just too hard. It's just really too hard, really, to collect anything.
Yeah.
I just want to see a couple of strong guys bust into someone's house, being like, "I want the Pokemon cards and I want the W coins."
That's right.
Leave the flat screen.
Yeah. What do you got here? It's I don't know. It's a bunch of cash. No. The W coins and the Charizards. That's why we're
Where's
here.
the Charizard?
Yeah. They should make those in like they should do some crossovers with like Hitman of like you gotta get in there and get the 8.
And Agent 47 has to be Mr. Mime. Dress up as Mr. Mime.
But pushes.
Empty
Yeah.
your pockets.
Does it flawlessly, of course.
I have a complete set of the Generation 1 Pokemon cards, and I remember having to look up that I don't go in for the sealed. So I collect a lot of stuff. It's a horrible sickness, and
We know.
Yeah. But
We can see behind you.
I never go in for graded stuff. Like that is just my thing. It's like 3 tiers above my level of like once you get into the graded stuff, you're playing a whole other game.
Yeah, I mean, you're more of like the Smeagol angle where you just want it.
I just want it. I just want
your precious.
I need the collection to be complete. That's the other thing. I only do things that I think I can finish.
He didn't want the ring as an investment. He just needed it.
Right? There are people who do slabs for coins, and then you're paying like you've gone over the like. Well, I guess I'll pay $10 or $15 for this quarter, and then you're into the like, no, I'm at an auction now, holding up a little sign that says, like $10,000, like that's where that road leads. So yeah, the only thing I put in plastic are my comic books. Those are the only things I boarded in plastic, but I don't even have those graded. I've never sent anything out to be graded. I think Gersman sent a thing out to be graded once, but I'm not sure. I think a game he might have
from his museum quality collection.
From his and I think he should have done that. I think he did.
Yeah,
I have to ask him. Anyway,
what does he got? What's he sitting on?
No, he's sitting on a lot.
He's got a lot of stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
A little less of it now, I think, since he did some homework and made it so that they could have a baby in the house. I think maybe some of his collection is maybe not what it used to be. But
I would like to trade in this original NES Mario Brothers for a baby.
The thing somebody told me a long time ago, or I read on the internet, or somebody told me, or in some point in my life, was if you think about the cost of keeping all that stuff and it taking up space in your house or apartment. And then is the perceived value you think you'll get for it, if you're collecting for money, worth that, worth being like, well, this corner is going to be just the boxes for this thing in case I have to resell it someday. And it's like, is that holding that for 20 years? Is that worth it? And I was like, I think about that a lot, especially with these little guys behind me, these Transformers on the shelf here. But I got rid of all the boxes because I'm like, and it's the thing my wife told me about, like any collection stuff is like, if you ever start collecting because you think you're going to turn a profit, then you need to stop. And it's like, okay, you collect it because you enjoy it. I will suffer this with you, but it's not because you think you're going to make money off of it. So, all right, fine. Let's do it. All right. Should we take a break?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll come back with the news, folks. Stick around. Okay. I think we're back. My audio stuff got mixed around. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So the music wasn't going out, and then people heard me talking about Alex about clapping again. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we're back now.
Yeah, we are back now. Let's just make sure we're back now. Everybody in the chat saying we're back? Okay. All right. Well, we clapped off camera for those who want to know. We had to resync. Yeah, you had a cable came out. Yeah,
you don't get to clap along on that one.
No. We can clap along anytime you want. Let's clap for the news. We've got some news this week. Alex, what's up?
Oh boy, what isn't up? Well,
am I not clapping? Is this am I booing? What's going on?
Yeah, well, let's start with the Cyberpunk, because I mean that's certainly led the news stories over the last week. The big thing I think that has really been going on over the last week is the absolute clusterfuck around refunds and the things that CD Projekt Red has been saying around that stuff. So they came out, they've mostly, tried to apologize for the state of especially the console versions of that game. And amid all of that, they kind of said, hey, if you guys want a refund at any point, for that version of the game that you don't like, you can just go get that. The problem with that is that they apparently didn't talk to anyone else before they went out and said that.
Oh, like like the stakeholders?
Yeah, so it's not a simple matter of just going to Sony or Microsoft or a retailer and saying, CD Projekt Red said I could get a refund, so here is bad game, give me money back.
Yeah.
In fact, there are different rules for all of that stuff, and it sounds like CD Projekt Red did not talk to any of the platform holders before they went out and said this. So people who've tried to refund via PlayStation have mostly been met with, you can't do this.
Okay.
I think people have been slightly more successful with Microsoft, though they also are largely telling people you can't do this. GameStop had to send out a memo to employees to be like, hey, we're not doing this. Direct them to this email address that CD Projekt Red has for refund requests, which I assume are attached to GOG in some way or shape or form. But apparently that email address is also getting hammered, and all people are getting are auto replies right now, and maybe not necessarily a whole lot of actual interaction with CD Projekt Red about it.
So it's just confusion.
It's a mess.
Yeah,
and intrepid boy reporter Patrick Klepek has been writing about this stuff over on Vice. He's kind of been detailing some of the nitty gritty of what's been going on with the various refunds. But the basic gist of it is, despite what CD Projekt Red has told you, most of these platform holders are not just going to run right out and give you a refund because their game is bad.
Well,
Vinny, I can't hear you.
I said, well.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So, well, sorry. I clicked the button. Well.
Okay.
The saga continues, I guess. I don't know what to say. It's a mess on that's yeah.
I think it's funny and ironic that we have, a storefront like Steam that has a refund policy that is so abused. And then when we have an actual need for a decent refund policy, just nah.
Yeah, and it's, I think it's indicative of where things are at with CD Projekt Red, where it seems like they are not really talking to anyone but themselves, and, not necessarily going through proper channels to make sure that this stuff is handled responsibly. And, it's indicative of maybe a larger problem, because there's another story we're going to talk about here in a second, related to GOG, the company that is owned by the same parent company as CD Projekt Red. So this week, out of nowhere,
just going into it then. Okay,
let's just do it. Let's just get into it.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, it was announced by, I believe, Red Candle Games, which is the studio that makes the game Devotion, which was, as some may remember, it was a horror game, a story-based game from a Taiwanese developer, Red Candle, that was pulled frantically because someone on the art team had left in a meme in the game that was lightly making fun of the president of China.
With the Pooh Bear stuff.
Yes, the Pooh Bear stuff.
The Pooh Bear stuff.
And
he doesn't like that.
He does not like that.
Really doesn't
Xi
like that.
Xi Jinping does not like that stuff at all. And so there, like the Steam version of that game got bombarded with terrible reviews. It was a whole thing. And so the game has not really been made available again since then.
Yeah, it was pulled off.
It was pulled off. And the premise being that any storefront that held it would essentially be subject to greater scrutiny by the Chinese government. So, that's not going to happen. But GOG, out of nowhere, the developer, I believe, said, oh, hey, guess what? We're coming out on GOG. Like, we're just going to put the game out on GOG. And everyone was like, oh, that's great. Yeah. And then within like a couple of hours, so bizarre, GOG had to come out and say, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty much the quote, we have received many messages from gamers and will no longer be hosting Devotion on Good Old Games. I'm mystified by this in several different ways. Primarily, you had to know why that game was not being sold on other storefronts in the United States. You had to know that. There's no way you go into this without having done a little bit of light reading about why that game isn't just available everywhere. And what did you think was going to happen when you brought it over? Like, what did you think the response was going to be?
It's impossible to tell. You're absolutely right. Like GOG kind of has, again, this is CD Projekt Red's GOG.
Yes.
Has this kind of, edgier vibe to it of like, we don't do DRM and like we'll do the thing that nobody else will do. And then I wonder if it was like we'll do the thing that nobody else will do, and then it got real in some kind of way that was not just gamers rose up kind of way, in some kind of way that was like, I received something in the mail that was horrifying. We can, we cannot do this. There was a pinky in my mailbox or something like that.
Yeah.
Here's a real human hand.
Here's what I think it comes down to is that there's one thing that GOG does that a lot of other storefronts do, which is sell video games in China.
Yeah.
And so look, if it were coming down to we have received many messages from gamers, let's just say the last couple of weeks with CD Projekt Red probably would have gone very differently. If that was really the benchmark for whether we can sell a video game on this platform, the many messages they've been receiving from gamers might have gotten Cyberpunk pulled down at this point. But the reality is what very likely happened is someone gently pointed to them, Cyberpunk is selling in China. We need to sell video games in China. If we piss off China, we are in bad shape. So they just made the very hasty decision to do this.
You think it was, and I should clarify here, I should say CD Projekt Red is the developer. CD Projekt, it's GOG. So you think somewhere in CD Projekt was like, communications happening. What's the worst? We're going to do this. We're going to get this game. And then someone else who was having lunch with other C-level people was like, I'm sorry, what? Got a message from somebody. It was like, you're not doing this. And this whole thing happened.
Well, apparently, even people who have been requesting refunds on GOG from support agents there have been the support agents have been saying you need to talk to CD Projekt Red about this.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know if any of those people talk to each other outside of when shit goes real wrong.
Okay, so right now inside CD Projekt and CD Projekt Red, a lot of Slack messages and email and meetings, Zoom meetings happening.
There are a lot of frantic lawyer emails that say confidential at the top that are going back and forth that have a lot of all caps writing in them, I'm guessing.
A lot of things that start with you need to talk to, and then email address or Slack name.
Bureaucratic maze.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You think this will be covered in like season 1 of that docuseries, or will they just pump this into like the season 2?
Oh, this is season 3 stuff, man. This is like you've got to get all the establishing stuff done, and then by the time you get there, that's when the real shit hits the fan.
This might only be like 1 episode, but still.
Yeah. But what an episode it's going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that means Devotion is still without a home, like a platform, an official platform.
At this time, yes.
Can one play the game? Can you buy directly from the developer?
I don't know. I just know it's not available in any mainstream storefront. I'm not sure if they are trying to find. As far as I know, it just isn't available.
What a wild thing.
I would hope that they would release it on itch.io or something.
Yeah,
because like I understand if you're making a version of a game for Western audiences, you probably need another version for the China market.
Right.
But why can't you have two different versions?
And they do that.
You sell the Western one in Western markets. Like, yeah, people do that for sure.
I wonder if it's team size, but it sounds like they apologize for the asset being included
many times over.
And I wonder if it is just now this thing that like, I don't really like, I can't put my political hat on because it doesn't fit my head. It's too small. But what I understand is that this this affront is too much and it cannot be suffered, and so there's no redemption arc for this game maybe within those channels.
It's a real shame because everyone I know who played it had nothing but nice things to say about that game. So I genuinely hope at some point they find a way to get it out there on a wide scale again, but it just seems like every attempt they have tried to do with has been blocked by one way or another. So
So yeah, well,
CD Projekt, what the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know. It must be really hectic right in there right now.
You think?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, kind of thinking so.
Yeah. What other CD Projekt Red news do we have?
Well, here's another good what the fuck one, but it has nothing to do with CD Projekt Red. So remember when I think it was a couple weeks ago. It was just a kind of a quick tossed off news item there. It was a little surprising. 2K was going to go out and buy Codemasters.
Yeah, I remember that.
For, I think, just under $1 billion.
Yep.
Well, that's not happening anymore because EA snuck in and put in a bigger bid. Ooh. And now EA is buying Codemasters for $1.2 billion.
That's not a bid. This is a bid. Wait, what was the original one?
$994 million.
Wow. Good for Codemasters, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, EA probably. No offense to the people at EA. I really don't mean this is an offensive thing, but like
I'm offended.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
EA has racing franchises and driving franchises.
And developers that work on that stuff.
And Codemasters are very good at making the driving and the dirty driving. And it would be maybe they could work together now and share resources and share the knowledge in the driving franchises.
You're like the first you're like the first person to speak after the acquisition.
Mm-hmm. What if these two things got together?
Friends.
Hi, I'm super excited for these two great brands to come together. We have a lot of great driving franchises, and Codemasters have a lot of great We're a little kooky here.
Mm-hmm. A little different.
Where our company culture is a little kooky, but you'll get used to it.
Well, so here's what I think it comes down to is that, I mean, Codemasters, obviously they have the Dirt series, they have the Dirt Rally series, they also have the F1 license. And I have to imagine EA took a look at that and they said, we do not want 2K entering this market. This is a market, racing games, driving games that we are in to varying degrees of success these days. And I have to imagine they looked and was like, we have more money lying around that we could do to make sure this doesn't happen. And more than anything else, like it's not that I think the EA is going to come in and be like, okay, Codemasters, you don't get to make games anymore. Like they'll just let them make the games they want to make.
It is a preventative acquisition.
It is absolutely a preventative acquisition, and it does bolster their portfolio in sections of driving games that they don't make. So,
let me just say this, and again,
say it.
Does EA have something against Take-Two? It's just like you think you're gonna make a sports game? Hey, go out and buy all the licenses. Buy up
basketball.
Buy up all the sports licenses. You're never touching a fucking sports game again. Hey, I heard they're trying to get into the racing game. What are they doing? Get me on the phone. Write them a check. What are they asking?
I want the Colin McRae. I want W. Cordes. No, I want Charizard.
If it has 4 wheels, I want it. I want it. What are they doing over there? Like poor EA and Take-Two.
I mean, it's at least EA already has a terrible experience with wrestling games that they can point back to prevent themselves from ever making that mistake again. But honestly, other than NBA and wrestling, like they have essentially tried to hostily take over every other possible licensed franchise that 2K would want to do. I think that the problem they have with them is that they are both very large publishers and they are competing in a lot of the same spaces. That's what it boils down to.
Somewhere in EA, somebody's like, can we buy crime? If they make a crime game,
the concept of crime, we want to patent that.
We want to crime or open world. Figure out a way. I don't care. Figure it out.
Anyone does a crime on a console, I want $10. That's my Andrew Wilson impression. It's not very good.
No, it sounds exactly
I don't think I got the accent right.
Perfect. All right, more EA here, Alex. What else?
Yes. Well, not just more EA, Vinny, more Mass Effect.
Speaking of crimes, all right.
Well, yeah, I don't know. More Mass Effect,
sorry,
Vinny.
Smith. All right, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
We talked about this a little bit on the hotspot last week, but Vinny, they're doing more Mass Effect, and it's not just the remasters. They showed a CG video of Liara looking forlornly at a mask.
Has it been totally confirmed that it's
Vinny,
Liara?
It's Liara.
Okay.
You
recognize your space wife anywhere.
I know my wife.
Okay. I think I talked a bit about this somewhere on one of the podcasts.
On the hotspot.
Okay. Yeah. If we have, I'll say it here as concisely as I can. If we do Mass Effect in a universe where everything's been cut off, like in a solar system where it is now cut off from the mass relays, and we get the internal struggling politics of a local solar system trying to, with all these people stranded, trying to live in a world now with none of it's very easy to map this to international commerce, right? With now you're isolated, and how do you make do? We used to get titanium from here, and we don't, and all this stuff. That could be really interesting. Make it small scale, make it local, make it the struggles, not of a galactic ending, but of a planet or two trying to get by now in this stuff, and that could be really interesting.
Yes, but the thing is, we won't know anything about any of this because it's for a very long time, because there's no way there's a game that's ready to talk about anywhere near yet. Like, that is a CG teaser that they show you like 6 years before they actually show you a game. So we're a long ways off, but they're testing the waters. They're showing us that there's an intention there, if nothing else.
Yeah,
they still got to make that Dragon Age.
Yes, and they
got to make that Dragon Age. They're supposed to fix Anthem. Like, there's all kinds of stuff still percolating at BioWare.
It's odd timing, because we have the stuff that was not shown for Dragon Age, the kind of very early stuff for Dragon Age, and we have Katie Hudson leaving with Mark Dara. Is that
I believe so, yeah.
So you have two big leads leaving, and then these kind of very early announcements coming out. I mean, I have to assume this, if we were in a normal cycle of stuff at E3, this stuff wouldn't have been an E3 thing, right? I think this video would have always been a Game Awards thing. Okay.
But, would they have had more Dragon Age stuff to maybe show at E3? Who can say? But
yeah, interesting. I Mass Effect, one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've said it a lot of times. If you didn't know, I collect coins and I like Mass Effect. So Andromeda, I still have not made it through. Some people tell me the hate is overblown, and go back into it. It's fine now. I have not tried it yet. But I go back into the Mass Effect universe. It's so rich. You just have to do the right stories with it. And I think trying to separate a bit from the more bombastic Hollywood version of Mass Effect and go back into the really interesting storytelling, go back into the character work and make that happen. That's my armchair Mass Effect. I'm sure you could sign my petition for Mass Effect, what the story should be. But I think I love Mass Effect. I want to see more if it's done correctly. Right. I'll read the books.
Okay.
What else you got?
These are just a couple of quick ones. So there's a new mode in the Fortnite, continuing our Fortnite coverage, with Abby Russell absent. They put Among Us in Fortnite. Like they're doing a limited time event. Buy creating a limited time event where there are imposters and you are running tasks and your goal is to try and figure out who the imposters are, because Fortnite is the everything game. It can just be whatever the fuck they want it to be whenever something comes along.
Is it branded Among Us, or is it just like an imposter mode? Okay.
It is an imposter mode that is not legally Among Us.
Well, so like Among Us again. So like Among Us, the kind of put your head down, raise your hand if you're the werewolf thing. It's not the.
Oh, I know they didn't invent it, but they certainly popularized it this year.
Made it very popular, and the Fortnite being Fortnite as a game that's like, what if we put a battle royale in there? Okay, what if we put this very popular whodunit mode? It's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny because they are
also a little terrifying. The turnaround,
a little terrifying, and also the money machine that now Fortnite could swallow Among Us as like without noticing, right? Like I do feel bad if this popular thing within our circles, just becomes outpaced by this thing that is popular throughout the world now of like, oh yeah, and without its due, that to me is the shame, right?
I don't think there's any real risk of Fortnite becoming the premier place to play Among Us. I just think it seems like they wanted to do a thing for the people who are already playing Fortnite. So, and it is a limited time event. It's not like a permanent mode.
That's what they said about the Battle Royale mode.
Oh, yeah. They're just going to McRib that shit. They'll bring it back every couple of years.
All right. One more piece of news.
Yeah, one more. Just, for the Spelunky heads out there, the Spelunkers. Both Spelunkies are coming to Switch next year.
Cool.
That's it. That's the story.
Spelunky 1 was never on Switch?
I don't think it is.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think they ever got around to doing a port for that on Switch, but now it will.
Sweet.
That's exciting.
I don't think I own Spelunky 2 yet. I put that. It's on my list for my game of the year to play games. How?
It's good.
How?
It's really hard.
It is really hard, but it's good.
How do we do this? How am I gonna play all these? There's so many long. Like I can probably play Spelunky 2. That's not the problem one.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at my list of like, all right, I've got to probably touch some of these by the time we do game of the year come. And we're doing it again. If you haven't heard, we're doing it in January. But like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of really long games. And I even with the break we're going to have, it's not like I'm suddenly going to have 12 hours a day to play games. And some of these things are, I'm worried because I want to make the most. We don't get this. It feels very precious. We don't usually get this time to play games before Game of the Year. So it feels like this gift of like, oh my gosh, we're doing Game of the Year after our break. Like I can play I can spend time playing all. Now it just becomes this paralysis mode of like, okay, well, Like a Dragon's in there, and
I'm worried for
Valhalla, and it's definitely
that's the thing. It's the gift, but the gift came with a price, and the price is here are 3 100-hour games that you need to play starting in mid-November.
And,
there just isn't actually that much time.
And I've got a list of like all these like smaller games that we just couldn't get to or didn't weren't on the radar in our coverage, and like it's a pretty big list too, and so man, It's exciting. It's enjoyable. It's tough. The drama is just you're not going to believe the drama this holiday season as I try to play video games. It's a lot.
But I think this is where you guys in the media, your expertise about like being able to read those situations about like, okay, I'm going to try this for 2 hours. Am I feeling this? Like, am I going to want to, really make a case for this game in our discussions later? I'm going to stick with it, or like when to bounce off, right? Like that's
you're
like,
right.
That's like,
and it's very generous to say expertise, but which you're right. But the hard part comes in when we start talking about category stuff, and that's where I'm like, okay, if we're talking best story, and we haven't, and only Alex or you or maybe you and Ben have just finished like a Dragon or and it's like, this is a good story. And now I want to be able to talk to that, but I know those games pick up steam in the back half or, pick up steam after, don't do a lot in the beginning. So it's the category stuff that really becomes tougher of, some are easier than others. Like visuals are usually, you pretty much know, but sometimes not. Sometimes it's like, oh, did you see this level that's, 30 hours in? it will knock your socks off.
That's some wild shit.
Yeah, or this song. That, some of that stuff gets stuff, and that is where I do rely on some of the other people who have played it to be like, hey, do I need to play this? And they're like, yes, you need to play this. Make this a priority. It's tough problem to have, right?
Yes.
How am I gonna play all these games? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's my complaining.
Okay.
Did I tell you about these West Point coins?
Yes, you did.
All right. Should we take another break? And we'll get into the emails here, and then we're gonna bounce. So stick around. I'm gonna sort my audio stuff out here in a second here. So stick around. It might be quiet during the break for a little bit, but I'll try and sort it out, and we'll be right back. Let me bring up the music here. This will be a quick one. Okay. I think I fixed my audio business. There it is. I had to swap it up.
Sounded better.
Thank you very much. I had to swap some stuff around. I was having a lot of trouble. Here's a problem with computers. I don't know if you guys have ever used computers before, but they can be a real pain in the butt. I was trying to send audio to Ben for a thing, and Discord. I was coming in like a robot to Discord, and I was like, oh gosh, okay, is the voice meter doing it? I'm sending this music and my voice. Is there something colliding and some kind of nonsense that's happening? Working on it, switching all this stuff around, switching this stuff here. We just used Zoom and it worked fine. Something in Discord was like, I turned off all the settings, turned them all on. It spent too long, and it was just like, but Ben, before we just give up on this, let's just try another program. And then
called Zoom.
We tried Zoom, and it took in the audio fine. Anyway,
that's your audio biz.
Well, no, my audio biz is ongoing.
I don't know if you know this, but in the future, everyone is just gonna call business biz.
Oh, really?
Because we don't have time to say business.
So
and we got to put a Z at the end of it. So all business in the future is just biz.
Like mind your biz.
Yeah, I learned that from playing a video game.
Are you okay? What happened during the break? Did you eat something? Are you digesting something right now?
Something's kicking in, maybe.
All right.
Welcome to New Jersey, everybody. Phil Murphy's
Garden State.
The
Garden State.
The Garden State.
It doesn't take place until January 1st, but actually, that shit's never gonna happen.
What do you mean it's never gonna happen?
I mean, the glacial pace of like marijuana legalization is. Have you ever heard of that? It's moving. It's I don't know. I'll be stoked if it's 21. I don't think it'll happen.
There was a year here in Washington where there was a year where the legislation allowed it to be bought but not sold.
Right.
So I was like, what? But then after that year, there's this dispensaries all over.
They'll figure it out eventually.
But not swallow it.
I think the bigger thing, that's right. I own this, and somewhere along the line, somebody had to do something illegal.
This is all free. This is all free. I acquired this free.
I think the bigger thing that is happening now, not to get too much into local politics here, but it's definitely the New York, New Jersey, how are people just not going to come over from New York to buy in New Jersey and, come back?
I mean, they're doing that with the gambling, with the sports gambling.
It'll get there with New York. Like you said, it's just like glacial fucking politics.
Well, that's it. New York and New Jersey are so interconnected at the hip.
Yes.
It's like,
you can't,
with one goes the other. So that's fine.
All right. We're here to talk about emails, though. If you've got an email, you can send it to beastcast@giantbomb.com. Beastcast@giantbomb.com. I think we got the email mailbox and stuff sorted out in the transition. I think it's working now, so apologies if I missed your email. Do read them all. Send them along to the folks who need them the most. But this week, let's start with a little lighthearted one. Backlar, why don't you read this one from Anthony? I feel like we might have talked about this before, but I want to talk about it now.
Right. Anthony asks, which Tetris block is the best?
And I feel like the easy answer here is the straight one. The straight,
the easy
one. Like the one that's just the 4 across.
Yeah, everybody wants that one. It's the one you put.
It never shows up though. It's always late.
But it's the one you put in your bag of holding. But I'm gonna go out there for the workman piece, the piece that doesn't get enough, and that's the Z piece. I think that piece. It's a utility. It's a support player. It's not gonna get you the.
I think it's a bullshit choice.
It's not gonna get.
It's a necessary evil.
I'm here to talk about the Z. Yeah, everybody hates the Z piece.
Yeah, let me hear your fucking TED talk on the Z piece.
Listen, there are 4 types of people in this world. You have your Tetris long, the 4-piece 4x1s. Those are the people. Those are your utility players. They only come out once in a while. You have your T piece. And they can kind of fit in anywhere, but a lot of people don't.
Which is why they're the best.
Yeah, they're the best. Totally.
You have your blocks, and your blocks are going to be there. They're the foundation of your company. And then what do you do with your Z pieces? Slide.
No.
Just stack them up on the side. Just put them over there.
Yeah, they're the worst.
You put them down. You got to slide another piece underneath them. A lot of times, you're just figuring out what to do with your Z pieces in your company. And I'm telling you, Slide, that there is a spot for a Z piece for everyone. Get rid of your Z pieces. Tetris only needs 3 pieces.
The L piece is a close second as being.
I forgot about the L piece. Yeah, L piece. Well, L piece is just a straight piece that didn't make it all the way. It's a straight piece that.
Should we throw this one in the mix too?
It was so close to perfection, and then it's like you're never gonna get me a Tetris. You're always going to be 1 block away. It's so L piece may be the saddest piece in Tetris. Well,
no, but the piece just doesn't belong there.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly. It's mopey. You're right.
Well, I can get
mopey ass Tetris piece.
I can help. And it's like you can help. You can help because I fucked up with that Z piece, so you can slide your ass underneath it and now make this line here. Alex, why don't you read this one from Dan? But it's really for Jeff. But you read it for Dan.
Yeah. Now that we've all determined that the T piece definitively the best. So
T piece really is. That's my non-joke answer. T piece.
Okay. You said from Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Beasts. Being from the UK, I share the same affliction as Jeff with the way I pronounce Mario. My question, however, is this: Wario or Wario?
Did we cover this yet, back
Yeah, we've beaten this horse.
Yeah,
a bit.
which one is it?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember when I was going through the emails.
For the second name, it's Wario.
It's Wario, and then the first one
is Mario.
So it's not Wario.
No, because look, like Wario is also like a made up, fictional name that doesn't occur in the metropolitan area. So it's not.
So you're saying that when I inevitably name my child Wario, I'm committing a hate crime, is what you're saying.
So
I'm just saying, like, we've only heard that name once in history. And that pronunciation is the definitive pronunciation.
So
where it's etymology, it's the origin of it, if you will, was established by Nintendo. So we only know it to be Wario.
But
Mario, again, we know Nintendo decided to say Mario the way it fucking says it. What do they know about Mario, right? Like, and that's
But wouldn't it just be Wario then?
No, it's just because that's just putting a W where the M is.
But
this is the whole conceit about Wario is that you take the name Mario and then you just flip that M around.
Right, I get it.
You can't change how you pronounce the same word with one flipped letter. You're just having your cake and eating it too here. What's going on?
I am aware of the dessert. I cannot say it any differently.
But I think the problem we also run into going down this horrible rabbit hole is what happens with Waluigi, because
Waluigi
because it can't be Wario and then Waluigi.
Wario.
I don't think
actually Waluigi actually feels more right for the character.
Waluigi.
Yeah, Waluigi.
So to go full gaijin about Waluigi. The Japanese word for bad is warui.
Okay.
Or warui. And L's and R's translate the same. Right. So warui, walui, Waluigi.
So we have it's a Wario and then it's a Mario. That is that
I think it should be either Mario and Wario.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's even I did it wrong. It should be Mario and Wario, or it should be Mario and Wario.
I
agree. But it should always be Luigi and Waluigi.
See, I think what this has uncovered here, though, is that this is not just some default thing that Jeff Bakalar does. There is a conscious decision being made in the Jeff brain when he is making this distinction. When he says Mario, he is doing that consciously in a way he knows what he's doing because he could, if it was just automatic, he would say Wario. But no, when he says Wario, he thinks and he changes it. He makes it say Wario.
I've only heard Wario. I've never heard Mario. Like I've never heard Mario.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like,
pretty sure you hear it every time this comes up.
Let me just take a step back.
No, Bakalar, I'm with you. Like people say.
Well, it's also, and I just want everyone to know, and I've definitely said it before, but it is a fucking crime that Vinny doesn't say it the way I say it. I'm
Long Island and Jersey are different places, man.
I'm living a lie. I'm living a lie.
Different dialects.
Look, I know there's not a lot of people in my camp. They're out there. We're out there. We sell T-shirts. Russ Frushtick says it the way I do. The list kind of trails off after that. But I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah. I know. Again, this is how it is. I didn't go to Mario's Pizza in Hoboken. We went to Mario's Pizza. So am I supposed to say Mario to him? Is that what you would like me to do? Would you like me to call him Mario?
Yes, I would like to get you banned from this establishment.
Be like, hey, it's Mario's. What do you want?
It's still around? The pizza establishment? Is it still around? Okay, do this and film it, please. Do that. Hold a picture up of Super Mario and say, who is this? And see what he says.
To the guy?
Yeah, to Mario.
Oh, he's not going to. I would be like, oh, hey, can you introduce yourself for the camera? Be like, what's up, I'm Mario.
Yeah, and he's going to say,
Mario.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen.
You're an insane person.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to say, that's Mario. Like, who else would it be?
And I also take umbrage with Alex accusing me of somehow deliberately going out of my way to say it the incorrect way. That's not what I'm doing. It is how I say it. It is how most of my friends say it. So again,
but again, there's a pathway in your brain that splits, and you are going the other way when you say Wario.
It's not a split. It is hardwired. That is it's
not hardwired split.
Okay, but here's the thing too, right? Like I say a couple words strangely. I say catch up instead of ketchup.
Okay.
I say what's the other one that my wife always makes fun of? Oh, like I say worship instead of
worship.
Worship.
So you're talking about like a place of worship, not a boat that has guns on it.
Yeah,
like, you're not saying world of warships.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
How do you say almond?
Almond.
So Noel when you say
no, there's no L in that fucking word.
Okay. I can't follow you. I can't follow you down this road.
I mean, look, it's you just emulate your parents, right? So that's what it is.
So you're blaming your parents for your misdeeds.
Oh, it's their fucking fault.
Okay, all right.
It's not, and it's my upbringing.
Your language crimes are all their fault.
It's through the language of that's what happens.
All right.
What can I say?
I'm gonna read this next one here from Matt. And this is a question for everybody here. How do you store, because I'm curious about this one too, how do you store all your tech paraphernalia and cables? Plastic boxes, Tupperware. I've never been able to find the right solution. It comes from Matt from Brooklyn. It is a problem that plagues everyone I know. Everything comes with a bunch of adapters and doodads and the right prong. Do you have to save the 17 earbud pieces that come with a pair of headphones? What do you do? Samantha, let's start with you.
I was just looking at my crate full of cables and wires over here. It's an ongoing problem. Sometimes I will try to organize them into little plastic bags. Like I'll put all the USB
that's what
A to B in this bag and all the USB C to A in this bag. But who has the time?
Nobody.
I'm just right now, my cables are split between a box there and there's a pile of them on the chair behind me. So that's just where the cables sit on the chair, so I can't sit on the chair. That's just the way my life is.
That's the cables chair. It's where they live.
That's where they live.
So you've split your life into best intentions and practicality. Okay.
No, I will admit
reality.
that I've seen some music studios. Music studios have to deal with a lot of cables. They will have hooks, and they'll just wrap up the cables into loops, and then they'll hang them on loops in an organized way. So if I had the interest in having a bunch of wire racks around my walls, I would go that route. But I can't do that.
Yeah,
I have to keep some semblance of self-respect.
Alex,
man, I am the worst. I can barely keep track of the cables I actually use, the ones that are actually plugged into things. Like if you saw the rat's nest of wires that was going on in this room and I actually got rid of some a couple weeks ago when I condensed some computer stuff, but it's still just a nightmare of cables in this room since we got in here in lockdown, especially. So I do have like a couple of different shelves that have like little crate boxes that kind of, you can put in there. And I do use those for a lot of like all my old controllers are in one of them. All the assorted other console cables are in the other one. And then I have a drawer out there for like stuff that I occasionally use out in the living room where I keep some of that stuff. But everything else just lives where it lives. It finds a nice spot somewhere on a floor or on a shelf,
cozies
or
up
on my head, whatever, and then it just lives there until I decide it needs to go somewhere else.
Backlar, do you have this answer?
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
So with doing a lot of production at home, I've kind of made a bunch of different bins. I have a streaming bin that's like for all my pinball stuff. And basically like, because I don't leave that setup all week long. I take some of it down. I repurpose it elsewhere. So I have like a streaming bin. I have a production bin. And then in my closet here in the office, I have what looks like a Radio Shack, where it's just these drawers of just wires, and it's labeled and you can find what you want, but I'd say maybe like twice a year I go through it and I just throw away a bunch of stuff.
Good for you.
I throw away all the old HDMIs that are not
up to spec.
Up to spec. I throw away like old Ethernet, anything that's like below Cat 6. I kind of just toss now because it's like, what am I?
Well,
up?
It's all backwards compatible, right? I can't think of anything that doesn't. Like you can't use like a Cat 6 on going down. Or
nothing is technically obsolete.
Yeah.
But I just have so much coming in to replace that it's like some of the older stuff needs to go.
The waste drives me a little bananas, but
it's bad. Yeah. It's real bad.
You could give some of that stuff to the tech recycling when it's open.
They'll take wires.
I can't remember. I have to look it up every time. I have a box that I have for tech recycling that I keep in the corner, and I throw everything in there, and then I have to look up the guide to make sure. Is they taking copper? Are they not? Is this wire or this wire? Sometimes I have to double check. It might be different per municipality, especially in Jersey, where every 2 feet is a municipality.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Backlog, can I ask you a quick question, mostly related to the video one, and feel free to say I can't talk about this. If you're watching the video pod, what is that blue-ish cool, like Saved by the Bell looking box by you?
Yeah, that one.
The chat asked me that earlier. That is a PS6.
Oh.
Okay, I'll get to know. That's what we can look forward to. It's even bigger.
It's just a PC.
Okay, it looks so narrow. Or no,
it is. It's only about like 5 inches wide.
Is it the width of a power supply? Is it just no extra room?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's made by Digital Storm.
Okay.
Is the company that makes that. Yeah.
It is probably about the size of a PS5. So my solution, Samantha, is very much like yours. I took a time at some point to get those freezer bags, those Ziploc freezer bags, and organize all my cables into one large bin and put them all in the bags. And that has generally served me pretty well. When I need something and I take it out, putting stuff back in is where it falls apart a bit. That's the maintenance part of it. And once in a while, I try to do all the USB cables. Let's go. We have to do the work. Let's go. I also have like the little workshop little drawers for like screws and nuts and bolts and those little things. I think if you're watching the video, you can only see one over my shoulder here. And that I use for like, okay, every thumb drive I find in this in my living space, I put in my hand, and that's going in one bin of here. So I have a bin just full of thumb drives, flash cards, adapter. And so I've tried to keep everything. DVI to HDMI converters, like those things are all going in those little bins, and to hopefully then remember that I have them. But yeah, I
think that's a great method.
It would be if I felt like I was on top of it. You know, it's just one of those things where like, oh, okay, I just bought this device and it came with a USB cable and like chuck it over here and like, let's get this thing hooked up. I really want to play. And doesn't go back in there.
That's the real crime, is owning too many things that require cables.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything. All the things now that are like, no, this doesn't have a plug. This just plugs into USB and that's how it runs. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't put one in there? Okay, well, I'll go to my bin. I
just feel like I feel like we're getting close to a USB-C sort of universality. We're getting there. We never really got it, I guess, with the last USB, right? Like there was still all the micro and macro mini, and the mini, and like I just man, because I don't know. It's super frustrating.
USB-C seems all right. Like it doesn't seem to be snapping off as much as those micro and mini ones do.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
I don't have to. You know, like those things. That's the other thing of like, oh, this cable's flaky. It should definitely go in the trash. I'll throw it out later, a month later. A USB cable. I'll put this in the thing.
But the thing that sucks about C though is, you still have, and it's true of like HDMI and a lot of other, interfaces, is that, there's some that won't like carry power as well, and data as well, and it's just
okay. They're not.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing more.
USB-C is pretty good, but honestly, I think we should go back to SCSI.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Everything's SCSI again.
Terminate your SCSI chain. You got what's the last thing on the block? You gotta mark it. SCSI was where it was the beginning and the end. That's really
it was the peak of technology.
Nice printer port. Just got so many nice pins on there.
I use it for my Easy Drive.
Nice. Ooh. There you go. You could daisy chain. Just as long as you mark the last one as the last one, you could daisy chain those things together. Man, SCSI. I do this iSCSI, which is we don't have to get into this. All right, let's end one more email here, and Backler, why don't you take this last one from Alex?
What's the best online co-op game for catching up with a casual gamer you don't get to see much? I managed to order a Series X, and when it arrives, I'm shipping my One X to a buddy who now lives a few states away. He and his wife just had a baby. We talk on the phone, but not really enough, so I'm looking forward to this, but not sure what to play. He's expressed interest in Call of Duty, and I'm decent at Apex, so I was thinking Warzone. I was like, oh, this could be an endorsement, but then I got taken away.
So close.
However, he hasn't really played games in a while. I don't want the learning curve to be frustrating. It's funny because we had a bit of a catch up, Vinny, with Dan Reichert the other day, and we were playing Call of Duty, and we might as well have not been playing Call of Duty.
Doesn't matter.
It was just a vessel. Yeah. Right, it was just a vessel. So you can do that. I mean, even if you don't know what you're doing, just being in it, I guess the conversation could get dominated by, wait, what do I do? What do I do? That kind of thing. But
you play a little of it, you'll get the gist. Are you going to compete against the best players? No, but you'll do enough.
Both agree that nothing matters, you'll be fine,
Yeah, I think Warzone has enough downtime to kind of be able to be like, that's the fun I have with Warzone. It's like it's got downtime where you're just like getting gear, and then it's like, oh, stop talking. And then you have your thing like, oh, where are you? And I think actually Warzone's kind of nice. Because I think the gulag and being able to buy people back in makes it so that a stronger player can bring somebody who doesn't play as much back in, and I actually think that's a cool mechanic.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I think as long as you can do it where you're not playing with randos. So I think Warzone you can do two. There's like duels mode, right?
Yeah.
That's my one caveat. But yeah, maybe if I've heard Destiny 2 is really good for this social kind of co-op play as well.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and I think Destiny 2, if you're playing with two people, you probably get a random coming in for a third on a strike or something like that. But that's what that mute button's for. You just that's what the party chat is.
And like, if you're looking for something more casual, I mean, like, there's a reason why Fortnite has become the social hub that it is. Like, I don't like Fortnite that much, but people love it as a way to just hang out and do stuff while they're talking to their friends online. And something like GTA Online also would probably be if you're into that brand of chaos and you don't run into people who are hacking the servers, that actually can be a good time.
Apex Legends. Play
Apex Legends. Yes.
Does Apex has duos, or sometimes they have duos? Mm-hmm. Okay, is it permanent now?
There, yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
Okay, I won't take your word for it. Yeah. Man, Apex, that's a fun game. That is unsolicited. That's a fun game. That used to be our family game for a while, until we realized. Well, actually, I think Red Dead took that over, and we went back to Apex, played it for a while, and then weren't nearly as good as we thought we were. Like, we had a good run there when we were playing a lot, and we're like, yeah, we're doing all right, and then we weren't cracking like the top 15, and it takes one demoralizing night to be like, I don't know, let's go back to being cowboys, I guess.
Slow this down.
Yeah, well, I guess we're not as good as we thought we were. Yeah,
you have good days and bad days. I have them too.
They, I'm assuming on the back end, and you just wink if this is true. I'm assuming on the back end, if you haven't won a lot, they just do a gimme, and they just, yeah.
I honestly don't know. If I knew, I would tell you, but I honestly don't know. But what I will pitch is Season 7 has launched. New character, Horizon, and there's a vehicle, a hovercraft that you can drive around on, and a new map. So if you have been sleeping on Apex this year, then it's a great time to get back in.
Never been a better time.
Still free.
Samantha, that's going to do it for the show. Where can people follow you, see what's going on? And
yes.
Here's the pitch part. Yeah. Give us the details.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am on Twitter at Samantha0. I have a SoundCloud now full of weird noise. That's soundcloud.com/Samantha0. And you can always find me playing Apex. I got my little Respawn dev badge on my profile, so you know it's me.
Nice.
Ooh, very good.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid so hard, you guys.
That's awesome.
Just as long as you're not wearing the merch, that's what gets too far.
She's definitely not wearing the merch. Definitely not.
If you're not watching the video, yeah. Folks, that's going to do it for this week's Beastcast. I want to remind people we have the extended free trial coming up tomorrow, Friday, and going on for a month. You could check that out. I would like to encourage people to go and look at the last week of stuff that went up. We had a very fun stream playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Brad and I had a Ray date in which he took me on a tour of some ray traced games, showing them off on a 3080. Boy, what else is going on? Oh, some stuff that it has not gone up yet. It felt such a busy week, and then I'm like, oh, Alex and I recorded some stuff that will go up.
A couple of things
during the break. Ben and I recorded some stuff that'll go up during the break. Bacalar, anything you want to point people towards?
Oh man, CS is CS coming.
It's coming.
And,
it's coming.
I mean, let me tell you, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready.
Okay.
You thought 2020 was a dumpster fire.
No, stop. No, you can't do that to people. Don't do that. No.
I'm kidding. I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be interesting because the unknown is organically interesting. We don't know what it's going to look like because we're not going to be anywhere.
You're not going to Vegas.
Are you not intrigued by that?
A little bit. A little bit.
I'm a little intrigued by that. I'm gonna start the music.
So I've got some cool stuff planned personally for CES, including pinball stuff, if you care. And we're gonna see some PC gaming stuff too. So that's a lot of the stuff I'm working on right now. Yeah, a lot of interesting times we are still very much inside of.
I started the music, so I'm going to say this for another time. Samantha, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
The next couple of weeks here over at the Giant Bomb headquarters. We have a short week tomorrow. We will be done by Wednesday. So I want to let everybody know we are planning to do a stream on Wednesday, which will be our 2020 Gone in a Flash stream, it is also the end of Flash. So I believe there will be some streaming of Flash games. You can see that. We will have podcasts recorded. I think we're recording ours next week on Tuesday to make sure we have it up for the rest of that week. And we'll figure some stuff out. We have some other stuff we're going to record on Monday to put up the week after. And then we're on break. Remember, no Game of the Year this year. That's going to happen in January for us. So keep an eye out for that. But we will have some things. Alex and I played a different BioWare game. I alluded to it in a different post.
A little bit of it.
We're not committing to it yet, but we wanted to test it out. So we have some other things that'll go up during that week. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll be back next week. The Giant Beastcast.